And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, we have some breaking news about Iran and Israel. There appears to be live strikes happening right now from Iran to Israel. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Donald Trump visited Atlanta, Georgia, one of my favorite cities in this good old US of A, and he got a warm welcome at the Chick-Fil-A. But of course, the leftists, the haters, the mouth breathers, the people who do not like conservatives, black conservatives, Donald Trump or anybody else, want to rain on Trump's parade. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we have New York City migrants committing crime. Y'all know about that. Now we have a pirate migrant. I cannot make this up even if I tried. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, OJ Simpson, he dead at age 76. Very controversial. The OJ trial was like a miniature race riot. It was crazy, and a lot of that energy is still going on to this day. You black, he didn't do it, although we did do it. You white, he didn't do it, although that's not everybody. That seems to be a lot of the energy. We'll talk about all that and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Shout out to Khloe Kardashian. You know, she might be kind of sad right now because her pawpaw might have kicked the bucket. I'm just saying allegedly. But we'll talk about all those things a little bit more a little bit later. We got a whole lot going on. We got some breaking news. We got a little bit of everything. Okay. Of course, the news happening right now as I speak. Iran launching drones toward Israel. Are we going into World War III? What's going to be the result of this? Would this have happened if Donald Trump was in office? We got World War III possibly sparking, or at least a piece of it sparking. But hey, the good news, you know what the good news is? No more mean tweets. No more mean tweets, so it's totally fine. All right? But we're going to talk about all those things a whole lot more a little bit later. Some of you guys don't know who OJ Simpson was. That's crazy. I'm old. I'm really old. You know, I thought I was just, you know, people were just saying that I'm old because I got the gray beard. But no, really, I'm old. I'll be 40 years old this year. Yes, I'm not 40 yet. I know I'm gray, but don't worry about that. It happens sometimes. People get gray early. Okay, we're all human beings here. But OJ Simpson, if you guys may not know who that is, we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. We're going to get into it, so don't even worry about it. Okay, don't even worry about it. We'll get into it. But yeah, he was a very famous person. He was a football player. Then he became a Hollywood actor and a spokesperson. Then he allegedly deleted his ex-wife and her friend. Some say that he did do it. Some say that he didn't do it. Some say that it was his son. Some say that it was some drugs involved. Who knows? Some say that he didn't do it, but he does know who did it. Some say that it was him that did it. But the OJ trial, it set off so many things. It started Court TV. It was the first reality show. It introduced you to Bruce Jenner because Bruce Jenner was married to Kris Kardashian, who is now Kris Jenner. Kris Kardashian was married to the lawyer on the case, Rob Kardashian. Rob Kardashian, of course, this is Rob Sr. You may know about Rob Jr., who has a child by the rapper. And you know about Kim Kardashian and Khloe and everybody else. And then there was an allegation that Khloe's father is OJ. It's a whole big crazy mess. LA riots happened 2 years before that. This incident happened in LA. It changed American culture. It was really crazy. And I remember, I was 10 years old, but I remember the racial tension was crazy. I didn't know all the backstory. I didn't really know who OJ was, really. I knew about him being a football player, but I didn't know about him and his life in LA and all that, I had no idea. But what I did know is that he was somebody famous for playing football, and I knew that there was a lot of racial tension. You know, it was, especially being in Virginia, a high black area where it's segregated. My neighborhood growing up was 100% black. No white people at all, not even a light-skinned black person. Everybody looked just like me. So then when you go to another part of town, it's 100% white. So people are different. And when they come together, and with the OJ trial, people were shocked. Whites were shocked that the blacks were kind of cheering, and they didn't understand. It's like, why would you cheer for a murderer? It wasn't even about him being a murderer or not. It was about the system. Because in the community, many of us, I'm not saying all, but many of us saw it as revenge against the system. It wasn't even about Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. May they rest in peace. It wasn't even about them. They were seen as casualties of the whole situation. I'm getting way ahead of myself. But yeah, that topic got brought up. I'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. But yeah. Zan, you born in 87? Yeah, I was born in 84, so I'm not that much older than you. You're like right around my cousins in them age. They're kind of like my little sisters, so we kind of very close. But yeah, I was about 10. In 1994, I was 10 years old. I was 11 in 1995. So I was like 5th grade, 6th grade, elementary, middle school. I didn't really know everything, but I knew a little bit. I knew the racial tension. It was big. I remember comedians making jokes about OJ back then. Black comedians making black jokes, white comedians making white jokes. It was crazy. And a lot of that energy that I remember back then, every time OJ would get mentioned, the energy would come back. Like when he got mentioned for the whole thing in Vegas with the so-called kidnapping, it came back. When he died just now, it came back. It was the same thing that was going on. Matter of fact, hold on. I think I saw some guys are playing the clip of Family Guy. Yeah, this is kind of what it was. This is exactly what it was like. Okay. Matter of fact, hold on. Can I play it? Fair use, Family Guy. Yo, check it out. Fair use. This is kind of how it was, right? This is like when the verdict came out. So you have Brian, he represents the white guy. And of course, the black guy represents the black guy. And you're going to see how they respond. This is kind of how it was back then. And a lot of this energy is still carrying forward today. Check it out.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty.
Yes. What the hell? What?
Maybe we should get new roommates.
Yeah, maybe we should.
That's exactly how it was back then. 100% dead on accurate. Shout out to Family Guy. 100% dead on accurate. That's what it was. So, yeah. So he dead. 76 years old. One thing that I wanted to mention about OJ is that black men, we got to tighten up with the prostate cancer. I've said this before on a live stream, haven't I? You guys remember, I was speaking about Lloyd Austin, 70 years old, black male, and he mysteriously went to Walter Reed and you didn't know what was going on. And then when he came back, they had to reveal that he had been treated for prostate cancer. A lot of black men die of prostate cancer. Like, that's a very, very common thing. Now, I don't know exactly what it is. I'm not a doctor, so please don't quote me. But I've been hearing that if you release your soldiers, and I won't get too graphic, we got little kids watching, we got little babies watching. If you release your soldiers enough, you're not going to, develop a situation down there that could cause you cancer, okay? Maybe black men, we got more testosterone. I don't know what it is. I don't know. So don't get me to lying. Don't say I'm saying the wrong thing. There's something wrong. A lot of us, we have a very high chance of getting prostate cancer. Maybe it's the food that we eat. Maybe you got hypertension involved. I don't really know. But prostate cancer is a real thing. Okay, that is a real thing. So please, please, please get your prostate exam. You could think OJ was a murderer. You could think that he didn't do anything. It doesn't really matter. Focus on your health, because that kind of thing can affect anybody, regardless of what your past was. You could be squeaky clean. You could be a murderer, regardless of what. Health is health, and you got to take care of your health for sure. So yeah, you say you do it daily. Okay, shout out to you guys. Release your soldiers. All right. Let me see. The Whitman said, what is he dead? Do you mean he died? Then say so. Well, look, sometimes you could say things a different way just for entertainment value. you could just say things for entertainment value. If you want me to recite the dictionary verbatim, then I could do that for you. That can be a video. I can read every word in the dictionary and pronounce it the exact way that it's written in the dictionary, if you'd like me to do that. Or I can just kind of riff sometimes and say he did because it's fun to say that. But yeah, Rex Rocker says, my cousin got diagnosed prostate cancer at 50. They took care of it. He's 68 now. He has to wear pull-up diapers, but he's still healthy and kicking it, rides his bike, etc. Yeah, it's unfortunate that happens, but you definitely got to take care of yourself and make sure that you're good. You know, you pull up diapers and whatnot because you can't control your bowels, really. I understand that, but, you know, it's better than passing away of prostate cancer at, 50 years old? So, yeah, that's pretty much what that is. Freebird says, no, my father had it, never smoked in his life. Yeah, I don't even really know what causes. Let me see. HP Benin, I know I'm pronouncing the name wrong. Says high testosterone beefs up prostate size with increased cancer risk. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, you guys, please just take care of yourself. That'll be what I say. But before I continue with OJ, shout out to the sponsors. Y'all know how I do. I got way off track. Shout out to ablmerch.com. They got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Check it on out. Also, go to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their links, of course, will be in the description. Also, go to my website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY. The letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. I write articles for each video that I produce. And in these articles, you're able to find sources from the left, from the right, independent, neutral, whatever you want. I got it right there on the website. You can also find full videos, uncensored videos, whatever I can post, as long as it's legal, will be on the website, even if it's not on YouTube. Again, anthonyblogan.com. Go to anthonyblogan.com/contact us to find my email address, my snail mail address, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X. All those things are right there on the contact page, anthonyblogan.com/contact us. And of course, as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you are conversing with me on these internets or not, yes, internets. I know it's wrong to say that, sir, who corrected me earlier, but having a little bit of fun. Please bear with me. If you're ever wondering if you're talking to me on the internets, just go to my website and cross-reference. If the email address says, hey, you know what? I live in Lithuania and I weigh 285 trillion pounds at hotmail.com. Well, maybe that's not ABL. If the email address says, hey, you know what? I live in Nigeria and I shave my head bald with a rock every day at gmail.com, that might not be me. So please, please, please don't get scammed. It's 2024. Nobody has time for that. We want to maintain every single dollar, every single red cent in our pocket. We got tax season coming up. Nobody has time for the scamming, especially not at a sensitive time like right now. If you get a tax return, shout out to you. If you got to pay, hey, man, hopefully you find a way. Hopefully you're able to find the money to be able to pay your bills so the federales don't come garnish your wages, so they don't try to go in bank account, so they don't try to come with the 87,000 new people to your house with a pistol and say, hey, give it up. Where is it at? What I don't want to have happen is the IRS come home invade me to get my money because I'm a few dollars short on my tax bill. I don't want that to happen, but I digress. And I also suggest if you get returns, get a actual check. I've said a story before about how they gave me a return through direct deposit and they shorted me. The return should have been like 14,000 or something like that. They gave me 9,000. It's like, well, hold on, wait a minute. And where's your recourse? If they short on you, what are you really going to do? Because you got some of the money. How are you really going to dispute it? You can't call them on the phone. You can't like not cash the check. It's already your account. What are you going to do? You know, I mean, you could dispute it, but how? How are you going to get a hold of an IRS agent over $5,000? So I suggest you guys get paper checks and make sure it's the correct amount before you cash it. If they are $100 off a check, let's say it's $15,000. Let's say if my refund is $15,000 and they send me $14,900, I'm gonna send it back. I don't care. Give me all my money. Look, you got an interest-free loan from ABL. I want all the money back. You're not going to get an interest-free loan and then tax me for giving you a loan. So get your paper check and make sure it's right before you cash it, because if it's not right, send that back and be like, hey, man, what are we doing? I know it's crazy, David. It was crazy. They literally stole $5,000 from me. And what am I going to do? So from now on, I need a paper check. And if it's wrong, then, hey, man, I'm talking about $25. I'm getting my $25, point blank, period. Because check it out. If you owe $25, or they're going to get $25, you could have paid them $85,000 in taxes during the year, quarterly, your total. If you are $25 short, hey, man, where is it at? Give it up. We're going to take that from your tax. They're going to get their money. Just like it was a guy. You guys might have been following this case, but there's a case on the internet of a young lady talking about her dad, how the dad abandoned her and went to go be a break dancer. It's a long story. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But long story short, the girl's putting out videos about how bad her dad was growing up and how he left her family and the mom was struggling. And then the dad responds and said, hey, well, that's your mom telling you certain things. You don't really know what was going on. The dad paid millions of dollars in child support, alimony, everything else. He even went to jail over a divorce settlement because he was short. He gave her like what, 1.2 million dollars up front. But he told her he would pay $100,000 more. He said it was going to be 1.2. He said he paid 1.1. He was short the other $100,000 because of what the woman was doing, messing with his business and running clients away, being messy. So because he was the $100,000 short, he got locked up. I mean, stuff like that happens. You getting 1.2 million in cash, boom, plus monthly child support and alimony of like 12,000. But because he was $100,000 short, he gets locked up. So my point is, get all your money this tax season. Don't settle for being shorted, because if you don't have it, you can go to the penitentiary to make big rocks to little rocks. All right. You saw a hip hop thinker. You saw it. Yep. He gave his wife 97% of his net worth, pretty much all his money. And the last money he had, he spent that all on lawyers. So he was pretty much flat broken, didn't have the money. Yeah, it was crazy. It's a crazy story. If you guys have not seen that, y'all got to check it out on YouTube. It's a really good story. I might cover that on my other channel. And speaking of the other channel, you guys please subscribe to Uncle ABL if you have not done so already. I got quite a few more good stories lined up for that channel. Again, Uncle ABL, I'm going to spam it right now in the chat. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I most certainly appreciate y'all for that. But I'm going to get back to OJ right quick, and then I'm going to keep on moving. Sandra said Anchorman had that on last night. Shout out to Anchorman. Shout out to Anchorman Valdez. Big up to him. Shout out to Anchorman. Good dude, good people. All right. Shout out to you, Michael, on Facebook from 4-0. I see you, boss. Shout out to 4-0. I was going to go to 4-0 the other day because I go to Costco out there. So shout out to you guys. 4-0, Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia. Robbie Mill, I'm talking about this story that's on the internet. It kind of went viral. It's a long story, but basically a young lady put out some videos about her father being a deadbeat on TikTok, and she went viral. And the father responded, explaining how he was not a deadbeat, and he's also gone viral. You got to check it out. I think you might be able to search for that scenario and find the videos. It's a lot to explain because there's a lot of videos and quite a bit of footage about it. So yeah, shout out to you guys. But back to OJ. Since I was already talking about OJ, let's talk about OJ right quick. So OJ Simpson, he dead, 76 years old, prostate cancer, and his death was pretty, I guess you would say, controversial, but his life was controversial. This is his last video right here from February. That's OJ.
Hey, X-World, it's me, yours truly. Boy, what a beautiful day it is here in Las Vegas. Even though the game is indoors, it wouldn't have mattered, but still, it's nice to have a beautiful day like this. Hey, let me take a moment to say thank you to all the people who've reached out to me. My health is good. I mean, obviously, I'm dealing with some issues, but hey, I think I'm just about over it, and I'll be back on that golf course, hopefully in a couple of weeks. But it was very nice hearing from you and hearing those good, positive words. Thank you. Now, as far as the game goes, obviously, my prediction, and it's not hope, I'm basing it on who's on the field. I see a 24-20 win by the 49ers. And that, as I said, that's not hope. I'm basing that on the quality of the players that are on the football field.
So that's him. That's how he was looking in February, and now he dead. So OJ Simpson, 76 years old. Somebody asked me, do I go to Georgia to go to Costco? Yeah, because it's only about 20 minutes away. It's not far. I live right on the line of Tennessee and Georgia, so it's not far at all. It's like 20 minutes. And the other nearest ones would be in Knoxville, which is about an hour and a half, hour and 45. Nashville, that's about 2.5. Huntsville, Alabama, about 2 hours. And then, of course, Atlanta, an hour and a half. The one right here in Fort O, Georgia is like right there, 20 minutes away. But it's great because I get to have the benefit of living in Tennessee but paying Georgia sales tax. Sales tax is higher in Tennessee because we don't have a state income tax. So you get the best of both worlds. You get the lower sales tax in Georgia while having no state income tax in Tennessee. The reason why we have a higher sales tax is because there's no state income tax. And that matters when you're buying big items. If you want to buy a bed or furniture or, bigger items, a car, yeah, the sales tax would definitely matter if you're in Georgia versus Tennessee. But anyway, I digress. So let me see. G-Nell says, everybody needs to listen to Judge Joe Brown's account of the OJ trial. Don't speak too fast. Can I find that right quick? But I'm gonna go back to OJ. 1994, the OJ trial. I was breaking down the history of it in the context of my video because it's pretty important to understand the impact. 1992, the LA riots happened. You got Rodney King, Latasha Harlan. Rodney King, of course, he got beat up on camera by cops. He was resisting or whatever, but he got beat up on camera, and then the cops beat the case. Latasha Harlan was, I think she was 15 years old, a black girl who was accused of shoplifting. I'm not sure if she did or not, but she was accused of shoplifting, and then the Korean shop owner shot her in the head and killed her right there in the store and beat the case, as far as I remember. Okay, so stuff like that happened. That's what sparked the LA riot, and it was crazy. The truck driver, I forget his name, he got hit in the head with a brick because he was white. It was a mess. That was 1992. And then OJ allegedly kills Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, 1994, also in LA. It was crazy. It was a lot of racial stuff going on for a few reasons. The first reason is he, at the time, was seen as kind of Uncle Tom, I guess you would say. Although that's the incorrect use of that word, but that's how he was seen. He was seen as a race traitor because he kind of had abandoned the black community. He would say stuff like, I'm not black, I'm OJ. And he had the white wife, of course. By the time the murders happened, he was divorced from Nicole Brown Simpson, but it didn't matter. He was always around white women. He was not really part of the community. That was the perception of OJ. And after the trial, he was kind of embraced by the black community. Reginald Denny, thank you, J-Bay. Reginald Denny was a truck driver who was hit in the head with the brick during the riots. So he was seen as somebody that was like a race traitor, not really part of the community, dating white women in Brentwood, Los Angeles, just away from everybody. When the trial happens, they go in this house and they change things around. They change the furniture. They put up pictures of black art. They make him appear to be part of the community, although he wasn't, to gain sympathy from the black community. And to a certain extent, that worked. But the main thing that worked in his favor is that people thought there could be a quote unquote victory there because they were still upset about racial injustice in Los Angeles with Rodney King, Latasha Harlan, and many others. That's why the LA riots happened. So when he won, as I was saying before, like black folks, not all, but a lot of black folks were cheering, and white folks didn't understand why, because they didn't understand the context. All they thought was, okay, you got a murderer, lock him up. What the black community thought was, you got a guy who has the ability to succeed against the quote unquote system that we've not been able to succeed in. It wasn't even about Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, unfortunately, because they lost their lives, but it wasn't even about them. It was about something bigger than that. So some, when I say that, they kind of get offended, but that's just the reality of the situation. I'm not saying I even agree, because when that happened, I was 10 years old. I did not know about the LA riots and why it happened. Rodney King, I remember Rodney King and that name. All I know is that he got beat up. But when he got beat up, I'm like 7, 8 years old. So I don't really understand the context behind that. All I saw was him getting beat up by the officers. I don't know why. I don't know that it's some kind of systemic thing. I have no idea. All that I know is that they beat him up and they beat the case. That's it. At that time, at 7, 8 years old, that's all I really knew. But as I've been able to read and research the case, now I understand why there was racial tension, racial division, because of all the elements involved in the case. But of course, y'all know how it went with the trial. You had all kind of characters. You had Mark Furman, and that was crazy. Another racial incident because they said he used the N-word. That right there was a big, big moment. I remember that. They harped on that for forever. And remember, this is a televised trial, the first televised trial that I can remember. I don't ever remember seeing anything quite like it. I think it was first of a kind, one of a kind at that time, a televised trial every day for months, every day. Now it's normal. Back then it was not normal. This is before social media, before the internet, really. This might have been right at the dawn of the internet, 1994. This might have been AOL time, right around then. So there was not this 24/7 constant news coverage, but that was the OJ trial was the first 24/7 almost constant news coverage every day in the courtroom. You had all kind of characters. Kato Kalin, that's right, Bob K. Kato Kalin, Judge Lynch, Ito, Johnny Cochran. If it don't fit, you must have quit. Then of course you get Bruce Jenner from this. Caitlyn Jenner, not Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner before he became Kate. And it was crazy because, you know, Caitlyn commented on this, talking about good riddance when OJ died. But then people hit back like, hey, didn't you kill somebody in the car accident? And, you know, it was crazy because what he could have said was, oh, that wasn't me, that was Bruce. Because remember, when Bruce got into that accident in 2015, he had not transitioned yet. He was still Bruce, not Caitlyn. After that, almost immediately, he becomes Caitlyn. Funny how that works, but I digress. There were other characters in this that became transgender later. I saw a documentary on this. 2 of the actual pilots who were covering the Fort Bronco chase, they became transgender. It's like, how does that really happen? 2 of the guys, they're looking like regular everyday dudes back then. You would never think that they become transgender, but they became transgender. Also, OJ's dad was a cross-dresser, a very well-known drag queen in San Francisco. And OJ's dad died of AIDS in 1996. You can't make this up. OJ's dad was kind of a transgender, basically. A cross-dresser, a drag queen, very well known in San Francisco. Bruce Jenner becomes transgender later. 2 of the pilots that were following the white Ford Bronco became transgender. I mean, this whole thing was crazy. Then, of course, you have Yes way, Audrey S. Yes way. Then, of course, you have Kim Kardashian, Rob Kardashian's daughter, who puts out a sex tape and becomes uber famous, uber rich from the reality show, which is an extension of the OJ trial with 24/7 coverage of one person and one family. It's like that trial created energy that didn't die. It just kept on going. Oh yeah, y'all ain't know that? Yes, OJ Simpson's dad was a well-known cross-dresser, a drag queen in California, and died of AIDS in 1996. Yes. Yep. Didn't know that, did you? I mean, you cannot make this story up. I mean, you cannot make it up. Then, of course, OJ beats the case. It divides a nation. And forever after that is always, whenever you hear about OJ, you thinking about the case and everything that happened. He did it, lock him up. And it's like they finally got him on that whole kidnapping thing in Vegas when some guys that stole his memorabilia and he went to go back to get it. And then he got the book. If not for the previous case and basically kind of getting away with it, he wouldn't have got that much time for the Vegas case. In the Vegas case, which was not related to any kind of murder or whatever, Nicole Brown Simpson's family was there in the courtroom. It was nuts. That OJ trial never ended. It just kind of stopped. It kind of paused at certain points and then resumed whenever necessary. Let me see if I can find OJ Simpson's dad as a drag queen. Let me see if I can find that right quick. Okay, let me see. If they're gonna let me see it. See, it's funny now that you got a lot of these articles talking about him. Let me see. Making of a monster, a drag queen father who died of AIDS, a daughter who drowned age 2, and years of brutal violence against women. And that's OJ Simpson's legacy. Let me see if they're gonna show me the daddy. Maybe not. All right. Well, they're gonna show the dad, but they're not gonna show the dad dressed up. Yeah, they ain't gonna show that part. It's gonna show the dad wearing regular clothes. Yeah, I'm gonna show you the dad looking like Carl Winslow, but I don't think I'll be able to find a picture of the dad dressed up. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay. So there's a dad on the right-hand side. Like I said, looking like Carl Winslow. That's him, just, regular clothes when obviously OJ is very young. But at night, he would dress as a woman, and he died of AIDS in 96. And you already know what time it is. If you had AIDS back then, you're part of the LGBT community. It's simple. As simple as that. It's like my uncle. My uncle died in 1990, AIDS, and he was LGBT. As simple as that. And I got a crazy story because I could tell some of this. They ain't gonna get mad at me when I tell this story. My dad told me it before my dad died. He was like, "Yo, tell the story." So my uncle, not him, of course, but my uncle was gay and died of AIDS 1990. But he was also an IV drug user at this time. But his significant other, I guess you would say, his boyfriend, became like an uncle to me. I ain't gonna say his name, but my other uncle, the boyfriend, would also cross dress. I seen them dressed up. It was a mess. It was a crazy mess. Me and my cousin went to his apartment one time because he had got locked up and he had to get his belongings out because he's gonna get evicted. And we saw all his cross dressing paraphernalia. He had like he had stockings with water balloons in it for the breasts. It was crazy. It was a mess. I presume that's probably how Orenthal's pawpaw was dressing when he would go out on the town in San Fran. Okay. And I wonder what he was doing in San Fran to get money aside from being a drag queen. I don't know, but hey, man, it's crazy. Okay. Now that's one story I can tell that I got permission to tell. I got a lot of stories I cannot tell because I have not gotten permission. Okay. Any story like that about my family, I got to ask, like, yo, can I tell that? Can I say that? No. Okay. I ain't gonna say nothing. Shaquille Oatmeal says that's too much for my small pea brain to process. Hilarious. Yeah, man, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. All right. But yeah, I wonder why I can't find I wonder why I can't find OJ's dad with the drag queen stuff on. That's really crazy. That's really crazy. Okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I'm gonna find a picture of him. I will find a picture of OJ's Paw with the drag queen stuff on. But yeah, he dead, 76 years old. RIP or not, it is what it is. He did. But that trial changed a lot. It changed everything. It really did. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. We got some videos to get through. Did he okay, thank you, Harb. D-O-N Johnson. All right. It ain't coming up though. He probably paid to scrub it. He probably did pay to scrub it. ABL has secrets. Nah, I don't got no secrets. I'm talking about my family members. I can't tell things about them. I'll tell you whatever about me, not my family though. You know, I can't talk about certain things, certain people without getting permission from them or from whoever is alive that can speak for them, because that's not what I do. I talk about me, but not other people, unless I got the permission. Before my dad died, he was like, yo, tell the story about your granddad, your uncle, me. Say everything. Say whatever you want. You got my permission. I'm like, okay, cool. Bet. No problem. Rex Rocker says OJ wasn't hugely tall. I think 6'1", but like 220 and was fast and agile. Yeah. And for you guys who don't know, because people were asking who's OJ Simpson in the beginning, OJ Simpson is regarded as one of the best, if not the best, running backs of college football history, going back to his days with USC with the Trojans. And then he became one of the best, if not the best, running backs in NFL history, amassing 2,000 plus rushing yards in one season on a 14-game season. He was one of the best to ever do it. Like OJ back then was the man, the juice. Then he became a personality on television, movies, everything else. He was the guy until 1994. Until 1994, and then that's when it ended. That's when it ended. It was a crazy mess. Yep. But 1994, he stopped being the lovable guy. He stopped being America's hero, and then he became the murderer or the dark hero. That's kind of what it was. Yep. Yeah, but the juice was OJ was the man back then, 70s, 80s. Oh, he was the guy. Barry Sanders was better. I mean, that's a debate. You could say Barry, you could say Bo Jackson, but during his time specifically, nobody was better than OJ. Of course, Barry came later. OJ and then Barry. I mean, pardon me. Bo Jackson, then Barry. But before that, it was OJ. He was a guy. And then, of course, you can talk about football all day long. You can talk about Emmitt Smith and all these guys, really, really good at their position. Oliver Torres says he was the national spokesperson for Hertz. That's correct. Yep, Naked Gun, all of that. But then, of course, came beating his wife, killed his ex-wife, killed the friend. Then came all that stuff. 1988, 1992 was LA royalty. Maybe so. Wally says we all love pre-murder OJ. Correct. Yeah, Jim Brown was good too. OJ running through the airport on an airplane. Yeah, iconic. But that 1994 changed everything. It changed everything. It changed his life. It changed Nicole Brown Simpson, Brown Goldman's life. It changed the lives of all those who were involved. It changed the country. Everything. You're talking about 24/7 news coverage of a trial. You're talking about all these transgender people coming out for some reason. You're talking about reality shows being a thing at this point. Kim Kardashian, Rob Kardashian, Kris Jenner, Bruce Jenner. That whole dynasty, that whole family, the Jenners, was birthed from the OJ trial. Point blank. Without the OJ trial, there's no Kim Kardashian. There's no Kim Kardashian, no Kanye with Kim, no Bruce Jenner running around deleting people, then changing his gender to a woman. None of that goes on without the OJ trial. All right. But anyway, we can keep on rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, I got some videos here. Hold on. What do I want to get to first? I'm gonna read some of these comments and I'll move on. 45 just wrapped up in Pennsylvania. Time to rewind. Okay, Houston, New York, NBA Finals directed for Bronco chase. Oh yeah, that Fort Bronco. Hold on, that Fort Bronco. I'm gonna show the Bronco chase because it changed everything. The Fort Bronco, in my opinion, became very iconic as a vehicle because
I understand we
got a young Larry King. Look at this. Okay, young Larry King.
We're going to go to a live picture in Los Angeles. Is that correct? Okay, this is Interstate 5, and this is courtesy of KCALR, one of our LA affiliates. Police believe that OJ Simpson is in that car. Now they're telling me that they believe that this vehicle is registered to Al Cowlings, one of OJ's oldest friends, a teammate at Southern Cal.
So it's a slow speed chase. I'll never forget it. I will never forget this. Slow speed chase in LA, and it was everywhere. That's all you would see because they were looking for him at the time. They were trying to find him because he was the main suspect. They were trying to find him, and then they go on the slow speed chase.
Reuters is reporting that the police tracked O.J. Simpson through his cellular phone.
Look at all the cars on this next bridge, man.
That's a helicopter reporting, talking to KCAL, saying, look at all those cars on that bridge looking down. This is living drama. There's nothing else you can say, but we're going to stay with it.
Now, of course, this went on for a while. It became kind of an iconic thing.
Is where OJ lives.
I don't know why it was a slow speed chase. Maybe they're trying to catch him alive because, look, check it out. If this was on I-75 in Georgia, man, GSP would have hit it with a pit maneuver within the first half a mile. That Ford Bronco would be upside down. High center of gravity too. Oh yeah, that thing would have been upside down. He'd be in that. He would have been throwing through the windshield, messing around with GSP. But they did a slow speed. You see the cars behind them, just kind of chilling.
And where the two people killed also lived.
It is an amazing sight. Along the right-hand shoulder, people have pulled over, many of them carrying signs such as signs reading things like "Save the Juice," "Go OJ." People are literally cheering him on as he travels northbound on the 405, and we can only assume that he plans to get off at Sunset and go towards perhaps his home.
He's on the off-ramp now, coming up the off-ramp at Sunset.
That's right.
Looks like he's in the left lane now.
Yeah.
Making a left turn. The intersection is free and he's clear. And
now, there's more here, but I'm going to show you something right quick. Before I move on, I'm going to show you something else. Remember I was telling you about the pilots, how they became transgender? Okay, look at this here. Look at this. 2 helicopter pilots share OJ Simpson case and gender reassignment. I'm not making this up. Okay? I am not making this up. Zoe Tur. Oh, and Zoe Tur, I almost forgot. Zoe Tur. You guys remember Zoe Tur. Zoe Tur was a pilot who flew, but you've seen him before. Okay, I'm gonna play this right quick, then I'll keep on moving. Okay, it's not going to play. But, all right, I'm going to just show you Zoe Tur right quick because you guys have seen him before. You guys recognize Zoe Tur. Because he had a run-in with somebody that we all know on this particular show. All right, hold on. OJ Simpson, pilots, trends, gender. Let me see. Zoe Tur, OJ Simpson. Yeah.
Pursuit.
Right.
Guy was killed at the end of the pursuit.
And it was live on television.
Live on television.
Never happened before.
Never happened to somebody being killed right on TV. And it was a great teaching. the woman, but the reality was I wasn't gay. I think it's very positive if they educate themselves. There'll be the religious fallout. It can be treated. And that we're now seeing enough with the silliness and the...
But look, this guy right here was one of the pilots. And Zoe Tur had an issue with Ben Shapiro. Remember when the transformer dude tried to beat up Ben Shapiro or kind of grabbed him by his neck, by the nape of his neck?
Good try. You have to bifurcate it. Did she deserve the honor? Probably not. In surveillance missions, I've been shot, stabbed. Being brave is being yourself. And being transgender is about the bravest thing you can do. Did she deserve the award? Yes.
Why are we mainstreaming delusion?
It's not delusion.
Why would you call it delusion?
Because Caitlyn Jenner, I'll call him Caitlyn Jenner.
No,
because
it's her. You're not being polite to the pronouns.
Because
disrespectful.
Okay, forget about the disrespect. Facts don't care about your feelings. It turns out.
Good old school Ben Shapiro. This is from 8 years ago, 2015. Good old school Ben Shapiro.
That every
I miss him so much. Come on back, old school Ben Shapiro.
Chromosome, every cell in Caitlyn Jenner's body is male with the exception of some of his sperm cells. It turns out that his brain structure is male. It turns out that he still has all of his male appendages. How he feels on the inside is irrelevant to the question of his biological sex.
I don't agree with that. I'm not on that train. I'm not on that train. She wants to be called she. I'm going to call her she. I just have a problem with the message and the messenger.
So you don't know what you're talking about. You're not educated on genetics.
Would you actually like to discuss the genetics or no?
Well, no.
What are your genetics?
So I'd stay away from the genetics and back to the brain scans.
You cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance.
Whoa! Remember this? So it all comes full circle. Are you trying to OJ my man, Ben Shapiro? Is that what we're trying to do, Zoe Tur? This is crazy. But again, this person right here was one of the pilots following the Ford Bronco on the freeway. Now he is transgender, getting an award from Caitlyn Jenner, who at one point was Bruce Jenner, who was married to Kris Kardashian, then became Kris Jenner, and she was married to Rob Kardashian, who was a lawyer in the OJ case. Without the OJ case, you don't have any of this. So yeah, it all comes full circle. It all comes full circle. But I digress. So yeah, the OJ thing, it was so deep. It was much deeper than people can really imagine.
Reparative therapy.
All right, let's go ahead and get up out of that. I don't want to see no more of Big Zoe on my internet screen. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. And let me see if I could just put this up right quick. So you know what I'm talking about. I'm not making stuff up. And right here, meet Zoe Tur, the pioneering trans helicopter pilot who filmed OJ Simpson's infamous car chase. Yep. The same guy we just saw. Okay. Oh, and I almost forgot the most important thing. Zoe Tur's daughter is Katie Tur. I almost forgot. That's his daughter right there. And remember Katie Tur because Trump had destroyed her. It was like, try getting it out. Like, what are you talking about? Remember that one? It's so many connections. I feel like that guy in the basement with all these little dots on the wall. I feel like him. Yeah, that's the most important part. I almost forgot about that. Let me see if I can find that particular clip. Oh, yeah.
Everybody knew it was false. Amazingly, there's a media group that calls the media. And the next day, they did the most beautiful story about what a lie it was from NBC. She's back there. Little Katie, she's back there. What a lie it was. No, what?
Crazy. But yeah, this isn't the one where he's this is not where they having an interview, but the interview was crazy. So yeah, it all goes full circle. Yep. So let's keep on rocking and rolling. We got videos, we got a little bit of everything to get through. Yeah, but then you wonder why people are why they are. You wonder why Katie Tur might be a certain way. You wonder why these people in media behave the way they behave. Well, look in the background. How would you turn out if your dad became a whole transformer and then was threatening political opportunities on TV, talking about you're gonna go home in an ambulance, buddy. You got violence, mental issues, put a little bit of drugs, alcohol in there. how are you going to grow up? You're going to grow up totally confused, not knowing which way to go. Yep. But let's keep on going here. Where do I want to start? I got a lot of videos I want to get to. Tarjay, speaking about shoplifting, things of this nature, people committing crime, not so much the heavy murder type stuff that OJ was accused of, but your basic crime. Now, what if you go into a Tarjay and everything is locked up? They're locking up underwear. I'm talking about Hanes drawers. One pair of men's underwear locked up. Listen, if I go to a Tarjay and the drawers are locked up, I might not be in the right location. Either we got high crime or we have no laws against shoplifting or a combination of both.
Looks like San Francisco is going to be the only store to lock everything up. I just spoke to some Target employees and they just confirmed with me that they will be rolling this out to every Target location in the country. So Targets all across America are going to start locking up everything. This is not the country I grew up in. What's happening in America? America.
So yeah, if I got to go do, and really, it kind of defeats the purpose of retail. I don't want to have to talk to you and, have you open up stuff to get a pair of underwear. I'm not trying to say, hey, yo, come over here. I'm trying to get a pair of large drawers. Yeah, put that in my basket right now. I don't want to have some dude come over and have to open the door up and get me a pair of underwear. I don't really want that. How about I just not go to the store? I go to Amazon and get it sent to a P.O. box or something. So I don't got to worry about porch pirates selling my underoos in front of my house. I don't want to have that. Or I'll just leave California or leave San Francisco. I don't want my underoos stolen from in front of my house, nor do I want to ask some dude walking around with a dress and a beard to open up the gate for me, to hand me a pair of underwear. I'm good. Yeah, but that's San Francisco for you. That's what's happening when you just allow theft to go on. That's what happens. Now, we have a good dad right here taking his son back to the store because his son had sold something. He's like, look, son, we don't do that. We're going to go back and return it. Check it out.
Come over here. Come over here. Excuse me. These are my kids right here. Okay. They came in here and they stole. I apologize. They coming in here and return the stuff that they just stole. Okay. And if you ever see them in here again, please kick them out. Okay. Or even call the police on them.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
My big manager is right there.
Come on, go. I'll take it back and tell her you apologize. Come on, nigga. You apologize for stealing too, nigga. Both of y'all. No, he was stealing them. I found out he come to return them. Okay. If you ever see him in here again, can you please kick him out?
Okay, will do.
Without no parents? Apologize.
Okay, thank you.
Apologize. Thank you.
So there we go. Yeah, the N-word, we need to have that part. But aside from that, accountability, very good. Very, very good. Shout out to him. All right, let's keep on moving here. Let's stay on the subject of San Francisco. So San Francisco lawmakers want to let city residents sue grocery stores that close. So if you're getting inundated with the shoplifting, the shrinkage as they call it, you keep getting hit up all the time. Rather than being allowed to close and move on, they want to sue you if you do that. Now, what kind of North Korea BS is that? You can't even escape? Because look, if it's me and I have a retail spot in San Francisco and I'm getting hit up every day, they're stealing from me and I can't do anything about it, I'm going to leave. I'm going to close my doors and go do something else. Why stay open? What's the purpose? I'm not going to make any money. I have no recourse when we're talking about shoplifters. So I'm going to leave. But they want to be able to sue you. Let's check this out.
San Francisco wants to stop businesses from leaving by making it illegal. Yep, if you're a grocery store in the city of San Francisco, you better give the board of supervisors 6 months notice before even trying to close down.
Man, ain't no way. Listen, I'm out of here. I'll be out of here like a thief in the night. Overnight, I'll be gone. You won't see me no more. No more.
Your store, according to a new proposal that's on the table in that city. Let's say you don't comply by putting a bunch of notices in your store indicating to your customers that you are going to be closing down within 6 months. Well, guess what? Then one of them can say, you're no longer providing a food resource in my neighborhood, and now under San Francisco's new rule, I get to sue you. So what San Francisco is proposing to prevent itself from becoming a food desert, from all these stores closing down right away, is either you can be sued by a bunch of citizens and a bunch of constituents, or you can stay open for an extra 6 months and take on all those losses yourself. That city is run by a bunch of communists. Now, who are they to tell me as a business owner that I have to keep my store open and take on all these losses, and that I even have to notify them that I'm going to be leaving the city? That's my business. I get to take my business elsewhere. I don't need the permission of some city elected bureaucrats who don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you got to be able to ask for permission, be like, yo, 6 months notice. Listen, I will leave immediately. I'm talking about, I saw one situation because of the minimum wage hike that a guy was talking to his employees the night before saying, hey, happy Easter, this, that, and the third. And then the next morning he was shut down. I mean, what am I going to do? Listen, I don't want to leave. If I have a business, the last thing you want to do is close your business. The last thing you want to do is fold and just shut down shop. But what else are you going to do? What's your alternative going to be when you're faced with just economic despair? What are you going to do? Yeah, I'm out. I'm going to leave immediately overnight, and it is what it is. But hey, California, that's a good reason why. Another reason why I call it California, because they behave like communists. Now, here's another reason that you might want to leave California as a business owner. A California plumber lost $30,000 worth of tools in his work van, says that crime laws are outrageous. The thief who stole his equipment was arrested and immediately released, but he didn't get his stuff back, and now he's out of work. So $30,000 and your van, I think, all gone. Suspect gets caught, released immediately, and that's it. So now, if I was to leave after that, where they try to sue me to keep me to stay, well, look, if you're going to sue me, can I get my tools back? Can you give me a van and my tools back? Can you give me the money I lost for not being able to work for however many days without my tools? Compensate me for what I lost, then we can talk. But beyond that, no thank you. Let's check this out.
That update tonight on a story we brought you first on 5. Thousands of dollars of tools stolen from a Gardena plumber have been recovered. But that's not the end of the story. The devastated plumber wants all his tools back, but he also wants justice.
KTLA 5's John Fenolio joins us live from Gardena with more on this story. Hi, John.
Court Micah, good evening to you. Robert Powell is a small business owner, a plumber whose livelihood was upended late last month when thieves stole his work van and tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment. But just a few days ago, police tracked down one of the suspects and recovered some of his stolen property. Only problem is the thief was cut loose and Robert is still missing most of his gear.
I'm angry. I'm just baffled. I really am.
Robert Powell is on a mission to get his tools back and straighten out a system he sees as broken.
The crime continues to keep going and going and going, and there's just no recourse for them.
We first met Powell last week after thieves stole his plumbing work van and all of his tools. The ordeal captured on his home security camera system. Powell recovered his truck the next morning, but his $30,000 of equipment was gone.
It's a victimless crime is what I was told by one of the police officers.
Oh, no way. Victimless is like, what do you mean? I'm the victim. I have no more tools. Like, I got to be able to work. That's crazy. Victimless crime. So maybe I got to die in order to be a victim? That's nuts.
Powell and his daughter saw it differently. After all, his business was destroyed. They began looking for Robert's tools online, and sure enough, they found them for sale on the app OfferUp. How do we know it's your tools?
Well, they had our initials on them.
They contacted Gardena police, who agreed to help track down the seller of the stolen property.
They said they were going to get a search warrant. They were going to pretend that they were a buyer and buy the tools or buy something from him and then serve the search warrant on his house.
So they went into the house?
Yes, and they said that every room was packed, room to room, with tools.
But Powell says despite the bust and a house full of equipment, he only got back 3 of his stolen tools.
They only brought 1 truckload, which, I understand that they did everything that they could, but still, this guy has all these tools still inside his house.
So they had 1 truck to take the tools back, but it didn't take the rest of them because that's all they could fit in the 1 truck. What, they brought like a pickup truck or something that didn't have like a real operation? It's like, okay, if all these tools are in the house, why not just call up some more resources? Okay, can we get a U-Haul in here and put everything in the U-Haul? A U-Haul, what, $20 plus mileage? You don't have access to that, police? I mean, come on. See, this is why you got guys that go and do things on their own. That's why they become vigilantes, because they realize that sometimes the authorities don't have their side. The authorities can't get things done. If I see my tools on OfferUp and I know I can meet with the guys and go to their house or whatever, see, that would inspire a guy to do something he probably shouldn't be doing. I'm not going to say what he should do. I don't want anybody to try to flag me, but you know where I'm going. This is why guys do stuff like that.
We called Gardena PD, even tried to speak with someone in person, but no one would return our calls or come to the door.
I appreciate the effort, but I believe that it should have went farther. I think all the tools should have been taken out of the man's house and put up, someplace where people could go and look for their tools.
What upsets him even more is what happened to the suspect. Powell says he was released almost immediately.
That he was released before I even got there to get my tools. We have to do something to change the laws in California. We got to stop letting these people go back on the streets. He's probably going to be out tonight searching around again for more trucks to steal because there is no recourse for the crimes that he's committed.
Exactly. 100% correct. That's what happens. And that's the same thing that happened out there in New York City with the migrant, the pirate. Did you guys see that? A pirate? It's like, what are we doing? You got a pirate, a guy that's out here stealing boats, commandeering boats, and taking them for joyrides. I mean, what in the world is going on? I don't even know. Hold on. Migrant. Yeah. The migrant stole a boat. Crazy. And, of course, he was freed with no bail. Freed, no bail. That's pretty much par for the course. All right. You already know kind of how that whole thing goes. Okay. This is him right here from Ecuador. Okay. Illegal immigrant attempts second boat theft in New York City after being released without bail. Reports suggest a man entered the country illegally through El Paso, Texas in 2022. Now, some may try to call him an asylum seeker or something like that. Well, there's also those who come in here illegally. Like the one guy who took the life of the young lady in Albany, Georgia. Y'all pardon me for forgetting her name right now. Laken Riley. That guy came through El Paso in 22 as well illegally. And he was in New York. I wonder if this guy knows that guy. Who knows? Maybe they came through the same smuggling channel together. Maybe this guy was a boat captain and floated to the border. Who knows? But anyway, 22 years old, Juan Hernandez, released without bail by Judge Marva Brown after his initial arrest for joyriding on the Hudson River in the former FDNY-owned vessel, the John J. Harvey. Now, the John J. Harvey is a fireboat. I'm going to show you guys what a fireboat does if you don't know. Okay, John J. Harvey boat. Yeah, you might not really expect to see what I'm going to show you. But he took this boat right here. Okay. Now, the boat was not painted the same way. It was solid red recently. But that's what the boat can do. It can spray out water and put out fires. You may have boat fires, other kind of things that the boat would have easier access to. So yeah, but it had been decommissioned, and he stole the boat and went on a joyride. And this is not a small boat. This ain't no pontoon or nothing like that. It's a pretty big boat. So I presume the guy had some kind of experience back in Ecuador. So check it out. Okay, 22 years old, you're pretty young, you have some experience piloting boats, but I'm to be told that you're some kind of poor, hungry migrant with zero education, and you just over here trying to do jobs that Americans don't want to do. What jobs do Americans not want to do? Be a pirate? Be Popeye the Sailor Man? Be the, I'm the captain now? Be an Eritrean or Somali pilot? Is it a pirate? Is that what we want to do? Somebody in the comments had a crazy comment. I forget what it was, but it was, I'm the captain now in Spanish. Hilarious. Yeah. That, what it said, yo soy un captain ahora or something like that. Hilarious. But yeah, that's what's happening. And then after he got caught stealing, so he stole the fireboat, then he stole a smaller vessel as he was trying to escape. He was arrested and released. The same day he was released, he went right back and was trying to take another boat. Then he was trying to take the 133-foot boat called the Frying Pan. And the Frying Pan is permanently docked, and it serves as a restaurant. It's a floating restaurant. So he's trying to barge onto the Frying Pan boat, and then the staff is like, yo, what are you doing? Like, you can't be up here. He talking about something, oh, I thought my passport was on here. Maybe he thought that boat was the same fireboat that he had stolen before. So he was trying to steal the same boat again after being arrested for the same thing and released with no bail. Like, I'm trying to find maybe they're going to say, oh, it was no victim in the crime. So you keep doing the same crimes over and over and over again because ain't no consequences. Look, you're here illegally, no asylum status, no official migrant. You're just here illegally, homeless, quote unquote. You're committing crime. There's no deportation. And then they said that ICE officials had their hands tied. Why? Because you're a sanctuary city and a sanctuary state. There's no reporting to ICE. It should be as simple as send them back over there. Why are you even here? Why are you here in this country illegally? Stealing boats, becoming a pirate? Like, what are we doing? But hey, once he gets released again, he'll go right back to the water and steal something else. That's pretty much what happened. Okay, let me see if I can read some of this here. It says, despite the efforts to stop him, Hernandez fled the scene. Angela Cravey, co-owner of the restaurant, the Frying Pan, the permanently docked boat he tried to steal after he came home, or after he got released after not being in there at all. She expressed frustration over the situation, highlighting the lack of police intervention despite Hernandez's suspicious behavior. We called the police. The police said they couldn't do anything because he's a free man, Kirby said. If he was charged with 2 counts of grand larceny, why was he released from jail? That's New York City. I want my city back, she added. According to the Post, it is not clear if Hernandez will be charged for his second attempt to steal a boat. Observers believe Hernandez may have mistaken the Frying Pan for the fireboat because of its color and where it was docked. Reports suggest that Hernandez is in the country illegally, having originated from Ecuador and passed through El Paso, Texas in 2022. After being initially detained, Hernandez skipped his immigration court hearing and eventually ended up in New York City. According to law enforcement, despite being detained for 2 counts of grand larceny related to the fireboat incident, Hernandez was released from jail. New York judge's non-cooperation agreement with ICE prevents them from holding migrants for the federales to detain them, contributing to Hernandez's release. So if they were not a sanctuary city and a sanctuary state, then, okay, ICE, you got this guy who's here illegally stealing boats, get him out of here. But we know what the result of these policies are. Yet and still, you're going to have guys like Eric Adams complain, talking about, oh, because we're a black city, they're targeting us. Nah, ain't nobody targeting you except for the migrants because they know they can go to New York City and do whatever they want to do. And you're not going to do anything about it. You're not going to do anything about it. Now, speaking about New York City, before I keep rocking and rolling here, this woman has to create this idea to keep herself from getting pushed onto the tracks. Okay, this is her idea to stop from getting pushed on the tracks, because we know what's happening in New York City. You got these crazy crackheads in the subway, push people on the tracks. People are getting hit by the train. So here's her idea.
Going on bad out here. People want to push people in the train. It ain't going to happen to me. So I got my own train, and this is what I do. I wait for the train like this, and until the train don't come, I stay right here. There ain't nobody pushing me. Train comes, put the key, and that's it. And I'm going on the train. Boom.
Now, one thing about it, I don't think nobody gonna push her, because I feel like she can fight. I feel like I'm getting the Canelo Alvarez energy. You try to push her on the train, you're gonna get stomped clearly in the wine. So don't mess with Rosalind, or don't do it. You're gonna get your whole head stomped from the front, back, side to side. But her solution is genius. She might get caught off guard. If you square up with her, if you square up with this lady right here, she's going to beat you down. So don't do it. But if you catch her slipping, she kind of on her phone chilling, and push her, she good. She ain't going nowhere because she got the chain locked up. She not going nowhere. So yeah, she's smart. But yeah, you squaring up with her, she going to beat you she going to stomp you in the dust. So don't do it to yourself. Them New York, Puerto Rican, Dominican women, man, nah, I'm good. I'm good. You might as well fight Canelo Alvarez, any Hispanic fighter, and in the street with no gloves on. It'd be the same thing. Yeah. So shout out to her. All right. Shout out to her. But we keep on going here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Oh, here's a video. This guy from Venezuela tried to rob a bank in Ohio with a translator app. I'm not making this up. So let me read this right here. Let's read some of this right here. An illegal alien from Venezuela tried to rob a bank in Sandusky, Ohio with a translator app. Soon after, 20-year-old Yixon Brito Gonzalez was arrested. Since he didn't speak English, police say he held up his phone using a translator app to tell the bank workers, get the money and put the money in the bag. Okay, so that's him on his phone, sitting down. Okay. No English. Dinero, aquí. You could have said that. They would have get it. They would have got the message. But a translator app, so he's trying to be a little bit more English friendly, I suppose. So, yeah, and then showing the message on their phone is crazy. Get the money, put the money in the bag. That's crazy. But hey, 2024, we got technology to where if you don't speak English and you're here illegally and you want a little bit of money, hey, let's use a translator app to rob a bank. Yes, you guys are saying, what? Yeah. Dinero aquí, ahora. You know, that might be what's going on. So yeah, hopefully he gets locked up. It's Ohio, so maybe he won't get the zero bail like he would in New York. If that was in New York City, they probably let him go with no bail, give him a red carpet treatment. Hey, you want some snacks from the commissary for free? You want a little bit of TV? Okay, no immigration, you good, you straight. Give you a little bit of snacks, some TV, some good new clothes, a fresh shower, and back out on the street. All right. A translator app. Yes. So y'all know how it is. You could just speak it to your phone and say whatever, and it'll get translated. And then he's like, yo, read that right there. Give me the money. Dame el dinero. Dame la plata. Yep. And Tom R says he'll just say, hold it to translate. Give me my money. All I have. Somebody says bank robbery, Android and iPhone. So yeah, that's what's happening. All right. Oh, here's something. Now, I wonder why this is not being considered like a Daniel Penny type situation. Well, the dude didn't die. He just got kind of detained. So I'm not sure who's Albanian uncle. This might be the Lithuanian guy's dad that I always talk about. Some Albanian, Lithuanian, some Eastern European guy is holding a guy restrained on the train in New York. I don't know what's happening. I think he was acting the fool on the train. So yeah, it's going to take that because listen, if the authorities can't get there in time and people acting up, they're acting the fool, you got to just take matters into your own hands. And you just got to hope that you don't get locked up, you don't get charged or nothing like that. It's to the point now where you might need to take some kind of class and some kind of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, something to be able to hold these guys down in a way to where they don't get hurt. But at the same time, they're kind of out the way in New York City. But in certain parts of the country, look, you acting the fool, man. We're not going to really play too many games. Everybody has arms. So let's just, be nice to each other and have that be that. But New York City is a little bit different. What I be worried about in this situation is, does this guy have a knife? Am I going to get stabbed in my face, get a $150 on my face? Like, I don't want to have that to happen. So, yeah, you know what? What I'm going to do, my solution is, how about I don't go to New York City? How about that? I don't want to go into the subway and smell urine and have to fight bums and all that good stuff. I'm good. I'm not trying to have no bum try to go in there and start a street fight with me. This ain't no video game. This ain't, an arcade machine. This is real life. Don't put your hands on me. I don't want to smell pee everywhere. I want to just go. I want to go from point A to point B. That's it. And a semi-clean environment. That's not too much to ask. That is not too much to ask. And one more on New York. But I mentioned this before. So I've spoken about the boots before. They boot cars all over the country. They do it in Atlanta a lot. And they got the boot girls where if your car gets booted, the boot girls, you could call them and they'll unlock you for a cheaper price than what it would have cost to have the boot man who put the boot on your car come do it. And it might come up in a quicker amount of time. So rather than the boot on your vehicle, they got the barnacle, put it on your front windshield. So if you're parking and you're parking crazy, they're going to put this on your front windshield to stop you from being able to see. Now, I tell you what, you put that on my windshield, I'm going to say challenge accepted. I'll be like a whole dog out the window driving my car. Okay, I'll be out the window. So here's a window right here, right? And here's me. I'll be like this. My whole body, my waist would be sitting on the actual edge of my Ford F-150, and I'll be driving it that way. Okay? I got enough height to reach the pedal with my foot. Or I put it on cruise control, don't worry about it. I'll be like my man who's in the wheelchair. What he does is he'll drive the car with his cane. I've seen it live in action. He put the whole wheelchair in the back of his vehicle, lifted himself up, and got in the driver's seat. And he would just drive, steer with his hands, of course, and then with the other hand, he would hit the gas and the brake. He did it, he did it flawlessly. My man was driving perfect with his hands, better than a lot of normies out there drive with their regular hands and feet. Okay? So yeah, that's what I would do, but check it out.
All right, let me see. Shot. Don't, yeah, just.
So yeah, they put that on your car. It's like suction cups. It's really heavy. You can't get it off. So in order for you to remove that, you got to call them and be like, hey, come get it off my car. And you got to pay some money. It's a boot, but different. It didn't prevent you from being able to move your wheels, but you can't see out of your windshield. Like I said, check it out. And somebody says, why? If you are parked in the wrong place, it's like a boot, but rather than the boot, it'd be the barnacle over your windshield. Like I said, I'll be like Scooby-Doo out the side of the vehicle, ghost riding the whip with a whole cane to push the gas and brake. Yeah, I'm out of there. So yeah, I mean, but most people are not going to be able to drive like that. It's impairing your vision. It's impairing your And I hate places that don't have adequate parking. We live in the car society. Can I park somewhere, please? When I go to Atlanta, I try to avoid places that don't have adequate parking. I'm gonna scope it out first. I'll scope it out first. Like, okay, I can't park there. Okay, I got to figure out a way to get this done. I'm gonna park somewhere else where it's safe and Uber. I don't want to have to deal with no barnacle on my vehicle or boot. And I don't want to have the water boys come bust my window out for iPhone charger, which they will do. So it's to the point where I won't even have my vehicle in the place where I need to have a vehicle. Like you got to drive there. You're not getting on the MARTA. You're not taking a bus, really. You got to drive there. So I rather would just Uber and park my car in a nice, safe place. Like, I don't know, Chattanooga. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Oh, I'll tell you who's not worried about traffic laws, the migrants in DC. Check it out.
Could you get away driving without a license plate? A Daily Signal investigation revealed that illegal aliens are driving motorbikes in DC without license plates and getting away with it. Motorbikes are classified as either motor-driven cycles or motorcycles. A motor-driven cycle is any 2 to 3 wheeled vehicle with an engine smaller than 51 cubic centimeters, while a motorcycle has a larger engine and can travel over 30 miles an hour. DC law requires that drivers of these vehicles have a driver's license, valid insurance, and DMV registration. But when we asked drivers if their vehicles were registered,
¿Entró por la frontera hace cuánto tiempo?
Un año.
¿Y de qué tamaño es este moto?
150.
Con 150 requiere registración y seguro.
Sí.
¿Usted lo tiene o todavía no?
No, aún.
¿Y la policía no molesta?
No, solo pues no tenga casco y pues no se pase los semáforos en rojo y eso.
many of the migrants
So basically, the person was asking, what's the size of your engine? Do the police bother you? Do you need a helmet? And she was like, nah, you good as long as you don't drive crazy.
Pase los semáforos en rojo y eso.
Yeah, well, you got to have a helmet. So you got to have a helmet and don't drive through the red lights.
Many of the migrants are driving 150cc bikes, but have slapped 49cc tags onto the back. One man has already reported being hit by these uninsured drivers. Will DC police enforce the law? And if not, residents deserve to know why. Could you get away driving?
So that's what's happening. You can pretty much do whatever you want. You're an illegal alien in DC, riding a moped type situation, you good. Wear a helmet, don't blow through the red lights, and you're straight. No license. But hey, regular citizen, you parking too long in front of Bob's coffee shop, well, here go a barnacle, boom, or a boot on your regular Toyota Prius. And somebody asked me, but I go to Buckhead. Buckhead's cool. Some parts of Buckhead is cool in Atlanta for parking. Some parts, but I tend to bring my Mustang or something because I can't bring the truck really. I could bring the truck in some places, but not all places. It gets a little tight, but Midtown, downtown, forget about it. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. A valet only place, I'm straight. I'm cool on that. You know, because I done seen plenty instances where guys will steal your car. One time I was at a valet. So I went to an event in Atlanta. It might have been a couple of years ago. I think it was a Blexit event. I was there and I stayed at a hotel in downtown and where it's valet only, which is why I don't like valet. I get back in my vehicle. I'm seeing somebody had a drink, like a grape drink or something. Like, I'm not making this up. Some chips. I'm seeing chip residue on my seats. The seats all lean back. It's like they went for a little joyride in my car. They in here just kind of had my truck. At the time, I think I had my Tundra. So they took a little joyride. It's like, okay, cool. We gonna get some chips, some little something to drink. Take a little store run. I don't like that. Don't be driving my car just wherever you want to drive it, and they will do that. And then I saw a story where at the Thompson in Buckhead, really nice hotel, somebody's car got stolen at the valet. What happened was the valet guy gave the key to somebody and they stole it. And what happened is if your car gets stolen, I think that car got recovered. But a lot of times when your car gets stolen like that, it's gone. It'll be on the boat to Africa. Real talk. It'll be on the boat to Africa before you know it. Before you know that it's gone, it'll already be gone. You sleep overnight in a hotel, they will steal your car from the valet, and when you get up in the morning, it'll be on the boat. That can't happen to you. So yeah, I don't trust no valet. I'm not giving you my key, sir. If I gotta do valet, I'd rather would not. I don't care where I'm at. I'm not giving you my key to my car. So we can go ahead and cancel that. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, speaking about different cities, let's talk about Los Angeles. This woman says that there's another Epstein in LA right now, and the police, they know about it. They most certainly do. That's right, TJ. Yes, I know how they go in Buckhead. Buckhead's getting crazy. I like Buckhead, but at the same time, you're getting that scammery element to really kind of invade like a virus. So I stay kind of up. I stay kind of away from that a little bit. But let's watch this.
The next Epstein is a bar owner and he lives in LA. So I posted a video that went viral. Thousands of comments poured in, essentially saying "Me Too" nationally and also in my DMs. I started to put together a bigger picture here. So I really started to investigate this one particular bar and another one that this.
So she's saying the next Epstein is a billionaire bar owner in LA, and she doesn't name names, but you guys, maybe you could figure it out.
Investigate this one particular bar and another one that this billionaire owns. As more and more comments started pouring in, there was especially a couple that really drew my attention, and one girl and I started DMing and I started asking her more information. She, in explicit detail, explained to me exactly how she was trafficked by this establishment. She responded to an ad for a personal assistant position. She went in and they started having drinks, and she thought that was very normal because it's LA and it's the nightlife. She's very young and she needs the money desperately. And this monster knows exactly how to exploit her vulnerability. This job was supposed to be for a personal assistant position, so after drinks, he takes her back to the house that she presumes is his, and he's gonna run down on her responsibilities.
Hey friend, why are you whispering? Can you give a little bit more octave to your voice, please? Because good grief, I mean, come on. Let's be a little bit, project your voice, please.
This is where she gets assaulted, raped. She sees many other women there. Very young, possibly underage, most likely. And she said this was so normalized. This was in the middle of the day and many old men were there. She said the cops were in on it. She specifically said, without saying too much, the FBI knows. The first time that she's talking about this, she's never told a soul. She's so scared and frightened that someone's going to discover her identity. And she said there are thousands of more victims. And this brothel is very close to this very popular LA nightclub bar.
So, okay, she's kind of getting on my nerves a little bit. she broke my last nerve. So basically she's saying the next Epstein is a billionaire bar owner in LA, and there's a brothel right next to the bar, and there's men in and out of there all the time. The federales know, a lot of these rich guys know, and it's just like right up under your noses in LA. But she doesn't say exactly who the guy is. I'm gonna read some of this because she was working my nerves. Like, yo, if you're gonna speak, can we just speak a little bit more with a little bit more oomph? The whispering is crazy. But she says the next Jeffrey Epstein is a billionaire bar owner, lives in LA. The cops in on it. It's so normalized that it was in the middle of the day and so many old men were there. She said the cops were in on it. Thousands of victims, assault, a lot of other things. So she investigated it. And the theory is that the billionaire is using these establishment nightclubs, bars as a front for what he's really doing, which is serving the elite and whoever else. This particular billionaire has been seen photographed with politicians, celebrities, and has been praised for the work that he's done in a lot of these areas. So who do you guys think could be a billionaire that would do a thing like this in Los Angeles? Keyword billion would it be? There's only a handful of these guys that could be a billionaire. How many billionaires do you know that are involved with nightlife? Now, sometimes you don't really know who these guys are. There's one person I could say, but I don't want to really put names out there. I'm going to put it out there. Steve Ballmer could be the guy, but I doubt it. But I believe he's in LA, billionaire, owning the Clippers. But who knows? He's seen at charity events, you name it, man of the year. It makes me want to throw up. It's just the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. This billionaire is currently living his best life while his victims suffer in silence. if they're fighting. Some of them are even winning their lawsuits, but it doesn't matter. What I want to know is who the guy is. When they come out and say things like this and they don't name names, it's like, all right, man, like, let's go ahead and just get to it. And somebody said, say her name. I will not read that name. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm sure, I can almost bet you with 100% certainty there's an OnlyFans, a OF attached to her name, and I'm not going to do that. So I digress. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. So somebody says Taylor Swift. It could be. In LA, is that where she is, or is she in Nashville? Gavin Newsom, could be Gavin Newsom, yes. Bill Gates, could be Bill Gates, Bill Gates. Let me see, all of them. Joe Mama, all of them, yeah, that could be right. All right, that could be right. Johnny Depp, he's not a billionaire, I don't think. I don't think Johnny Depp's that rich. Yeah, definitely not. And especially after this whole thing with Amber Heard, nah. Magic could be, yeah, but I don't think it's billionaire. Is he a billionaire? He could be. Hold on, is Magic Johnson a billionaire? Well, and she might not know who a billionaire is. Well, Magic is a billionaire. Yep, worth $1.2 billion. Yep. And I think that's because he owns the LA Dodgers, or he's a partial owner of it. Yeah, so very interesting. Very, very interesting. Former NBA star and investor Magic Johnson is officially a billionaire, becoming the fourth athlete to earn that title. I guess he don't got HIV no more, do we? I guess he got the cure. Not only is he a billionaire, he got the cure. Magic, yo, whatever kind of what you got? High investment virus? What is going on? All that money over there, good grief. But anyway, let's keep on going. Let's keep on rocking. We got a few more things to get into. Okay, where am I going to go next? I got a few things that I want to show. Let's talk about the super mayor, shall we? The super mayor. You guys know who that is, Tiffany Henyard. There's an update here.
Hey guys, this is Super Mayor.
RP to the headphone user. Sorry about that. I'm dead too. I'm right there with y'all. My ear's dead, not me. All right, it's back. Let's keep on going.
Hey guys, this is Super Mayor Tiffany A. Henyard, the people's mayor. So, you guys doing a lot of snitching, and y'all went and got my site shut down. My Tiffany on the Move podcast. Tiffany Henyard on the Move podcast. Well, it's said that when truth speaks, everybody gets scared and everybody gets to running.
Now, y'all know what this is. This is the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, and also the Thornton town supervisor. Yeah, a whole mess. There's a lot of things going on. People getting intimidated in her town to pay her some money. All kind of Fonnie Willis type stuff, going on expensive trips with the money from the town. There's all kind of things that are going wrong in the town. It's a whole lot going on, just really janky. The federales are now involved, but she can't stop talking. Just like Fonnie Willis, it's like, if I was under investigation, if I'm in trouble, I would just be quiet. I would not try to do a podcast, all this kind of stuff. You're the mayor of a little small baby town. Why you got this head of state set up in your situation? What is going on? Who are you talking to? Like, you got 2 constituents. Why do all this stuff? You have 2 constituents and you're robbing them with barefaced pistol, with no pistol.
Well, it's said that when truth speaks, everybody gets scared and everybody gets to running. Well, just like I told you, if you want the tea, get it from me. And if you want to check me out, because I got other platforms, go to Spotify. And that way you'll see Tiffany Henyard on the Move podcast.
I wonder how much that wig costs. That wig right there, I could tell. That's a nice piece right there. And I wonder how much tax money was stolen to finance that wig, but I digress.
Yes, Spotify. And you can also go to Apple Podcasts, because those are different outlets to view all the content. And y'all asked me for the receipts, but I got the receipts right here on ice, like I always do. Y'all asked for it, and I'm about to deliver. I got episode after episode after episode. Just wait your turn. Yeah, your turn coming. Just wait. Y'all doing all that talking. Y'all doing all that lying. And I told y'all, stop lying on me before I start telling the truth on y'all. And that's what this is. Truth speaks right here. Residents, community, nation, y'all gonna be shocked at the mess that's all around y'all. But I want to educate people in my delivery of receipts that y'all thought I didn't have. I always keep my receipts. I mean,
now remember, this is a mayor talking to you. This is a mayor talking like this. This is ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. Embarrassing.
I do a lot of talking, or it may come out a little slower than norm, but I keep receipts. That way I can educate the world as what happens behind the scenes that y'all don't see. I don't like fake news, because fake news tell you one-sided narratives. They don't tell you the truth. As you can see, you saw that first one. First one was lit, wasn't it? It was off the chain. And the problem I got is, when they do it, it's cool. But when I do it, it's a problem. But this how I see it in my head. Play the video.
It's cool when they do it.
Oh, boy. Rap music, man, listen. If you live in Dothan, Illinois, I'm so sorry for you. But you know what? The crazy thing about this, okay, so we know that this lady is a mess and corrupt and all this and that and the third. But who did they hire to investigate this woman? Who did they hire? Hold on. I'm going to show you guys. And I think a lot of y'all already know. A lot of y'all already know. Okay. Listen, watch this. Who did they hire to investigate the ghetto mayor? Look. Dothan trustees hire former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot as special investigator to probe Hinyard's actions. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this up. Why would you hire Lori Lightfoot? Really? I mean, we got to stop doing this. We got to stop. Like, what do we? Y'all like Lori Lightfoot? That was a good mayor. That's why you got this lady in there now, because if Lori Lightfoot is the mama, then Tiffany Hinyard is the daughter. It's the same thing. It's freaking frat. Dumb and Dumber, thing one, thing two. Why? Can we get somebody else other than these people? And listen, I'm getting triggered. Beetlejuice. Show right back up. Came right back to life. Right back from the attic and a little playpen situation. The little Lego set. She done left the Lego set. It's showtime. Right back in action. This is crazy. Look, I mean, if you live in Dothan and you don't like what's going on, just escape. This is like California. I mean, they're going to get rid of Gavin Newsom one day and put in the guy who's the exact same. Chicago, same thing. All over the place, same thing. This is crazy. New York City, you got Bill de Blasio, then Eric Adams. Like, can we do something else or nah? Let's do something else. But yeah, that's what they got to investigate Tiffany Hinyard, Lori Lightfoot. Can't make it up. And of course, y'all know Lori Lightfoot was the mayor of Chicago who was ousted for Brandon Johnson, who's worse. Brandon Johnson having panic attacks? Really? My man. Panic attacks? For real? I mean, look, I'm not trying to say that mental health isn't a thing, because it is a thing. I'm not trying to shame you, but my man, panic attacks over the things that you support, like sanctuary cities, yo, go do something else. You might want to be a dog catcher rather than trying to be the mayor, because you ain't really built for it. Anyway, I digress. Let's go to another person who was replaced, who probably shouldn't have been in office, Mike Johnson. You got rid of Kevin McCarthy and you put in Mike Johnson. Check him out.
Everybody.
Now, look at what he says when he mentions the word hardened criminals. Look at what he does, pardon me, when he says the phrase hardened criminals. All right, this is your man, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. I think it's at Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump.
Everybody from around the world to come here, including hardened criminals, Why are
you pointing at Trump when you say hardened criminals? Like, what's going on with this guy? Like, if that was not intentional, then what was that? What was that? Hey, some of you guys said Mike McCarthy's got to go. Get him out of here. I mean, not Mike McCarthy, Kevin McCarthy. Y'all said get rid of Kevin McCarthy. He's got to go. Now we got Mike Johnson. Is he better? I can't tell. He looks worse than me, but maybe I'm just seeing things. So you want to get rid of Tiffany Henyard, but you take Lori Lightfoot to investigator. Kevin McCarthy is out, and you bring in Mike Johnson? Really?
Everybody from around the world to come here, including hardened criminals, What
was that? And Trump looking dead at him. Trump's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, like, I don't really get it. I don't understand. Get that guy up out of there. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, you want to see one more time? I got you one more time. Let's let it rock one more time, and we keep on moving.
Everybody from around the world to come here, including hardened criminals, What
Trump's like, yo, what in the world are we doing here? What is really going on? Okay, now speaking to Trump, let's go to ATL. ATLANTA, GA. All right. A great time, a great moment. And we got some haters that say that it was staged. Haters going to say it's staged. People are so dumb. The dumbest people that have ever existed exist right now in 2024. The dumbest humans to ever draw breath are living right now, 2024. We're living in idiocracy. Idiocracy was a documentary. It was not fiction at all. It was not fiction. It was a documentary. And the creators of the film, I think it was the South Park guys? Let me just make sure I'm saying the right thing. Who was behind that? Mike Judge, yeah. Shout out to Mike Judge. I think Mike Judge is behind King of the Hill. Yep. And also Beavis and Butthead, all that good stuff. Yeah. Shout out to Mike Judge. Idiocracy was a documentary. If you have not seen Idiocracy, please go see it. I was watching Shannon Sharp interview Terry Crews. Now I'm looking back on it. He did not mention Idiocracy. And that would have been a great interview subject because he could have asked Terry Crews, do you think that we have gotten there right now? Because y'all know Terry Crews played the president. Hector Camacho, I think that's what his name was. And the things we saw in that movie are happening right now. The dumbest humans to ever draw breath. Now, you guys are brilliant. You guys keep me intelligent. But when I go outside of here, outside of the community, and talk to a lot of normies, I lose brain cells every time. Every single time. They say a meet and greet was staged. Huh? Staged? And then I'm arguing with some of these idiots on Twitter. They're talking about it was fake employees at Chick-fil-A. And Trump said that the owner of this location was a Trump supporter. I'm like, what you mean, Dan Cathy, the owner of the entire Chick-fil-A franchise, the whole thing? You talking about him, Dan and Bubba Cathy? You talking about them, the owners of the whole Chick-fil-A? And you mean to tell me that the whole staff was staged? Like it was fake employees and fake people? When you have a meet and greet with Beyonce, Taylor Swift, any celebrity, is it considered to be staged? Nah, it's a meet and greet. Look, okay. If I have a meet and greet and I invite you guys and you show up, it's not staged. It's an event. You want to come see me? Cool, come on through. That's not staged. Staged is when a thing happens that's fake. Like some say the moon landing was staged, as in it was made to look like it happened, but it did not happen. Or like what Alex Jones got in some hot water for, because he allegedly said that something happened or it didn't happen. I'm not going to say too much more because I ain't trying to get deleted from the internets, but y'all know where I'm going. That's what he got in some hot water for. To say a thing that did happen, did not happen. That's what the word staged really means. A meet and greet is not the same thing as a staged event. But people are so dumb, they don't know the difference. And the media knows that people are dumb. That's why they could say stuff like ultra MAGA extremists, and then people just buy into it. Oh, I don't like him. He's ultra MAGA. They think you're dumb, but I'm getting triggered. So here's some good footage from the event. We're going to go through. We're going to get to the people that hate.
Stop at a Vine City Chick-Fil-A.
We're going to get rid of Biden. Yeah!
So that's Michaela. What's her name? I know her first name is Michaela Montgomery. Michaela Montgomery. She is a Trump supporter, and she happens to be black. Okay, that shouldn't matter, but it does. Because the reason why she's being accused of being fake and the operative is because she's black. If she was a white person, nobody would care. It wouldn't be a thing. Regular Trump supporter is fine, but because she's black, oh, she can't be a Trump supporter because you can't leave that Democrat plantation. They're going to whip you back on the plantation, but she's free. She's not going back. None of us are going back. You're not going to bully us into going back the other direction. It's not going to happen. All right? We're just not going to do it. But they said that she's fake because she is conservative and she worked for Blexit, which is Candace Owens' organization. And she organizes events on college campuses, on black college campuses for conservatives. Because of that, that means that it's fake. So dumb. So dumb. Like, it's almost something. They thought it was organic. You think that Donald Trump's going to just walk into Lenox Mall randomly without any kind of forewarning, with no security screening, and just be in there hanging out, talking to people? No, that will never happen with any president. That has never, ever happened. But again, we're dealing with the dumbest humans ever. They think that President Donald Trump is going to just walk into Lenox Mall with Secret Service randomly with no prior warning, with no prior security clearance, with no event set up, and just hang out with the people. Okay, just happens to run into Lil Baby and Future and Lennox and smoke somebody's weed. And come, what are we talking about? Of course it was a meet and greet. Of course they knew he was coming. Come on. Anyway, I'm getting triggered. Let's keep on moving. So, of course, they dig into her background, Michaela Montgomery, and they say stuff like this. They say, the person who hugged Trump at Chick-fil-A runs a conservative group, was a Republican Party intern and former Blexit city director. Blexit was founded by Candace Owens. These Trump photo ops are pre-staged with supporters prior to his arrival. Now, how is that pre-staged? Like, did they rehearse it? Did they go, this is so dumb. Here's what happened. Trump says, hey, I'm coming to Atlanta. Michaela and her people reaching out to Trump's people like, hey, can we do a meet and greet? All right, you'll set it up. Boom, meet and greet Chick-fil-A. Be here this time. Y'all come through. What does Michaela do? She calls her friends, calls the students. Yo, come on, let's go meet Trump. Let's go to Chick-fil-A, Vine City. Let's go do it. That's how it works. I've been to many Trump events, and that's how it goes. I get a call from somebody. I might get a call from Deontay, might get a call from Candace or Brandon or somebody, say, hey, come on down to this place. Trump going to be there. If I can make it, I'll come. If I can, I don't. And I've been down to Atlanta and met Trump, and it was like that. Gail, Deontay, and a few others emailed me or hit me on my phone and asked me that I wanted to come. I'm like, sure, I'll come. It's a whole event. It's thousands of us sometimes there. That's how it goes. All right. Then they got pictures of her on Capitol Hill as the intern. And then that's her, Georgia Senate, Office of the Senate. And then that's her with the main man, Brian Kemp. And by the way, everybody loves Brian Kemp here. That's why he's so successful. Brian Kemp is the man, 100%. One of the best governors in the country. Some don't like him because of the whole 2020 thing, but people just don't understand Georgia if you're not really out here. Brian Kemp's one of the best governors in the country, aside from DeSantis, number one, and I think maybe Greg Abbott, Bill Lee. DeSantis, Greg Abbott, Bill Lee, and Brian Kemp. That's a top four governors in the country, in my opinion. All right. But yeah, they're going to say because she is conservative already that it was staged. All they really did was highlight how she's not fake. It would have made sense if they found out that she was a Democrat and hated Trump and went to the event that way. Then you could say, okay, there's something fishy going on. But yeah, if you're conservative and you already like Trump, you want to go see Trump. So dumb. I'm triggered. I'm really kind of upset about that. So let's keep on going here. I want to show you guys some more. I want to show you guys this commentary from Isaac Hayes III. Yes, he is the soul singer's son. R.I.P. to Isaac Hayes. R.I.P. to the OG Isaac Hayes. This is his son. Yes. Check it out.
Those colleges sure did. Much better than Biden did. So I want to know. This is Clark Atlanta. This is Spelman. This is Morehouse. This is Morris Brown. They all came in. So I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you. We love you. Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a hug.
Please do.
This entire scene you see here in the Chick-fil-A in Atlanta, Georgia was staged and fake. The woman talking to Donald Trump's name is Michaela Montgomery, and she is the Blexit Foundation City Director for Atlanta, Georgia. Hold on. So what is Blexit? Blexit is basically a Trump supporter, black-founded nonprofit by Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum. But who owns Blexit? Hold on. So Blexit is backed by Turning Point USA, a racist conservative nonprofit aimed at Gen Z. But who runs Turning Point USA? Oh, look, the racist asshole Charlie Kirk is behind Turning Point USA, who once said, and I quote, Michelle Obama is among black women who steal a white person's slot. So what y'all not finna do is play on our faces with chicken and milkshakes, because that's what they think of you guys, black people, that they can put chicken and milkshakes and Donald Trump in your face with some black girl who's really working for Charlie Kirk and get y'all to vote. Stop playing with us. We not stupid.
Well, we aren't stupid, but you, I don't know. I'm not saying you are dumb. I'm not going to say that, but I'm saying maybe you might want to point the finger in the other direction. That might be a little bit more accurate. But this is so dumb. All you did was just confirm that she's conservative. So that makes it more real. A conservative woman who has already been dealing with conservative events and people, meeting people. Of course, it would make sense. It'd be right in line for her to go meet Trump. That'd be the next thing that she would do. Why wouldn't that happen? I mean, to say that it's staged, that doesn't make any sense. When you say something staged, it means it's fake. Why would a conservative person have to fake liking Trump? I mean, people are so dumb. Like I said, we live in the time of the dumbest humans in history, in the history of man. Right now, the dumbest humans to ever draw breath. Right now, today. Okay, now I want to play some of her interview here because she spoke to Lawrence Jones over on Fox. Hold on, before I play that, I want to play another reaction from MS-13 DNC. All right, let's check this out. We got Joy Reid and some other individuals. I'm going to just show you this little screenshot of who's on the panel. Now, I got a little game for y'all. Who's missing from this panel? Huh? Who's missing from the panel on MS-13 DNC? I'm going to play it and then you'll be able to figure it out if you don't know already. If you can't tell already from this gentleman's attire, you'll be able to tell once I start playing.
The lady, I love her, by the way. I think she's amazing. Yeah. Stormy, well, let's talk about the Chicken Shack Trump moment. Trump, because you want to appeal to the blacks, you've already done sneakers. Now let's do chicken. Let's play it.
We've also knocked doors for you in the past for your past re-election bid and when you ran the first time.
Wow.
I was interning for the GAGOP at that time.
Wow.
Doing a lot for your tax credit reform bill and everything like that.
Well, we took care of those colleges.
Sure did. Much better than Biden did. So I want to know. This is Clark Atlanta. This is Spelman. This is Morehouse. This is Morris Brown. They all came in.
Isn't that great?
So I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a hug.
Please do.
Bless her, Candace Hart. Spelman and Morehouse Democrats put out a statement saying our goal is to simply reiterate our unequivocal beliefs about our beloved HBCUs. We do not support white supremacists. We do not support convicted predators. We do not support voter suppression. We do not support liars. We do not support fascism.
Now, this right here is from Spellhouse Democrats. Spellhouse, if you don't know, that's Spelman and Morehouse, because it's these are black colleges. One's for women, one's for men. Okay, if you didn't know.
Do not speak for us. I'm going to just tell you, as somebody who worked on campaigns, Secret Service has to go through that room. They're not just going to let anyone in there unless they're pre-screened. That lady said she was an intern for the Republican Party of Georgia. She used to work for Candace Owens' little firm, her little thing, Blegsit. Right. She's a plant, so we know that. And everyone in that room was pre-screened to be in that room. This was not him walking into a chicken shack and people being like, Trump!
Also, you know he stole a couple of Polynesian sauces before he left.
Did.
You know he
and
did.
Doesn't know what to do with them.
And also, I'm surprised he didn't try to go on Sunday because he doesn't know when they're open.
It's just, the idea that he's so desperate to show that the blacks love Trump. I had so many people. I don't go on Twitter anymore because it's too Nazi.
What?
But there were people on there trying to get my attention by being like, oh, Joy is going to hate. Joy Reid is going to hate to see Donald Trump hugging a black. She's going to be enraged.
Exactly like that.
Oh, yeah, you know they were shaking like that when they said it.
It's just so, it's like fundamentally so upsetting to think that this is, man says all this racist stuff, he does all this racist stuff, and then he thinks he can go to a restaurant and.
Well, let's be clear. He thinks he can go to a chicken restaurant.
Restaurant.
Fill it with black people and go, see, they love me.
They love me and
they love me almost as much as they love this chicken. That's what
Okay, so that's no more cringe. But I was asking you guys, what's missing from this panel? How about a heterosexual black man? Is that too much to ask MSNBC? Okay, we got Mr. Light in the Loafers over here giving his little 2 cents. Then we got the white liberal stuttering and stammering because she don't want to say the wrong thing because it's a racial issue. And then we have Joy Reid looking like Trump. How you get a an animal? What is that? A cheetah? How you get a cheetah skin windbreaker? How you do that? Like what is that? Is that cheetah? What is that pattern? Like a leopard? A leopard? Yeah, leopard / cheetah skin windbreaker with a fur collar. How you do that? You got a polo shirt, a windbreaker, and a jacket all in one. How you do that with the Trump hair? And the wig is always like an inch off her head. It's like you're trolling at this point. You're trolling. These wigs are ridiculous. Why do these liberals always look disheveled on television? You're on TV, look a little bit better than what you look right now. But anyway, that's their take on it. I want to play from Michaela herself. All right, let's play that because that's matters the most here. Let's check it out.
Herself, Michaela Montgomery. She's also the founder of a grassroots political group to conserve the culture. Michaela, I've been waiting for this interview all morning. So
I've been waiting for this my whole life.
So thanks so much for joining us. So you told the president when you were hugging him, I don't care what the media says, we support you. Tell me what you meant by that.
I am so glad that is the first question you asked me. Mm-hmm. So, of course, in the excitement of everything, I wasn't able to really relay my message, but the general consensus or social media would have you thinking that if President Trump were to show up to the HBCU campuses or walk around the AUC community, that like some angry mob would form or a riot would ensue and that he would not be welcomed. And clearly the sentiment in that room the other day was the complete opposite. He was very welcome. People were excited to see him. People showed up in support of him, and people, of course, were from all 4 institutions within the AUC, the local HBCU community in Atlanta, and they all showed up in support of him. So it's actually kind of crazy to see people in an uproar when all 4 institutions were legitimately represented, and all 4 institutions were represented by said students who wanted to support President Trump.
Michaela,
and I really appreciate that we were able to not only let him know that regardless of what social media says, I know they're trying to make us think we're supposed to hate you, but we don't. And additionally, it was a learning experience for my students because they were able to see and experience firsthand how the media can warp the perception of an opinion or a person. Because like I said, to think that these students who attend these illustrious institutions aren't smart enough to make their own decisions.
That's
so
right.
much so that they would only show support for Trump because he bought chicken sandwiches and milkshakes.
It's offensive.
That in itself is the most disturbing part of it all, especially when you think about the fact that it was mainly urban media outlets that were doing everything in their power to turn other black people against these young black kids who simply were not shy to explore other options.
It's so incredible, and I think you hit it on the head. By the way, the former president, gave a lot of funding to HBCUs. One of the highlights of my childhood was my HBCU tour to figure out what college I wanted to go to. But tell me about the former president and his policies. What is it about him that is gravitating these young people toward the president? And a lot of people, traditionally, Republicans don't do well in Black America. But a lot of young Black Americans like the former president. What is it about him?
I think, and this is a sentiment I get a lot coming from the young people themselves, is that they feel like he's honest. They feel like this is somebody who, while we might not agree with how he says things, how he goes about things, at least he's telling us what it is. We don't feel like this is a snake in the grass waiting for his chance to bite us. This is somebody who's telling us, this is what my plan is. Here's how I plan to execute it. Here's the people involved. And here's how you can get involved. So they just feel like he's more relatable. And I don't say that to say that, like, you know, they all relate to him. But again, he gives you that relatable feeling to where it's like, hey, I'm just like you. You know me. This is what you said you wanted. Here's what I'm going to try to do about it. They really feel like this is somebody who's talking to them and not just saying what they want to hear.
Such a good point. Michaela, what has Biden done for our community? What has he done for Black America?
Well, he locked up a lot of people that look like me, and they're still sitting in jail waiting for, you know, justice, an appeal of some sort. So when it comes to what Joe Biden has done for Black America, if we look specifically at his record as a senator, it wasn't something that benefited us at all. If anything, one could argue that he dedicated his entire senatorial career to disrupting the way of life, you know, for Black people. He didn't want Black kids going to the same school as his kids. He didn't want Black people walking on the sidewalk along with his mother and grandmother. So the fact that we ignore these things that were said on the Senate floor, like this is somebody who passed legislation with the sole intent of oppressing a certain community. And we're gonna act like that didn't happen, or we're gonna act like it can be overshadowed by somebody's comments a few years down the line that made us feel some type of way. Feeling some type of way is completely different when you can feel a certain type of way at home. There's people who are, you know, as of right now, spending the rest of their lives in jail because, you know, Joe Biden thought that they deserved it, as if there isn't retribution. And then you had somebody like Trump come in and give us the First Step Act to try and right the wrongs that were done with this 3 strikes rule, and nobody's talking about that.
Michaela, I need more time with you. We got to go
You can call me whenever.
We'll make it happen. We'll bring you back on, and we'll talk about the president's plan to win more Black voters. Michaela, thank you so much. Thanks for being bold. We'll talk soon.
There you go. Shout out to Michaela. I wanted to play the whole thing because I didn't play the whole thing before on my regular video. But shout out to her, Michaela Montgomery. The media wanted to call her fake and a plant and all this and that. And the third, that she appeared to be fake to you, you let me know. You know, if she looks fake to you, then, hey, I don't know what to tell you. But, okay, I know I'm a little bit past my time here. I didn't quite get to the whole Israel thing, but hopefully everything's cool with that. Well, not really. That's going to be kind of ongoing. I probably will cover that in the video, potentially. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. All right, let me start from the top. Thank you to my main man, Maurice Delt, who says, much love. I appreciate you. Shout out to Garfovsky for being a member, who says, love you, ABL. Keep it up. Will do. Thank you to Kelly K, who says, got to keep your mojo working for that prostate. Yeah, that was an earlier comment. So, yeah, shout out to her. Thank you to G. Nails, who says, everybody needs to listen to Judge Joe Brown's account of the OJ trial. Don't speak too fast. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, random fact, were you aware that TikTok will send you a warning for typing well in their comment section? Why? Because it's racist. Really? What does that got to do with anything? Well. Hold on, man. See, you be giving me stuff I got to look up. Yeah, I never heard that though. That's really random. Now it says the meaning behind the phrase is obvious, mysterious. Obvious, mysterious. Okay, I'm not going to read that. Distractify. Can we get a real writer on that site rather than AI not knowing what's going on? Alrighty. Let's keep on moving here. Shout out to G. Nels, who says, my grandma used to be mad that the tribe was interrupting her stories. The young and the restless, bold and the beautiful. Yeah, them stories be dead serious. Be dead serious. Shout out to Lothair, who says, pro wrestler, New Jack, during that time made a comment that made the crowd mad. Give a shout out to my homie OJ, 2 down. A lot more to go. He said that to make the crowd mad. The ironic thing is New Jack's son became trans. That's crazy. R.I.P. New Jack. Ain't he dead? I remember New Jack. New Jack was like an ECW wrestler. Yeah, he died 2021. R.I.P. New Jack. He was crazy. New Jack was a whole different animal. From where was he from? I want to say the wrong thing. North Carolina. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to him though. He was wild. Nah, he went to Atlanta. Yeah, I thought he was from Atlanta. He went to high school in Atlanta. Yeah, New Jack was something else. And also he says OJ Simpson stabbed a reporter with the banana as a joke. Bad taste. Think of it. Donna. Okay. Donna Johnson, who says, hey, ABL, my name is pronounced. Oh, no. Pardon me. Deanna. I got you. You're spelling it the way it's supposed to be pronounced. Deanna. Most people call me D. OJ's father reminds me of Howard Rollins. He was on drugs and cross-dress. Yep. That's about what it is. Think of the Bob K. MIT, who says, ABL, you might want to clear your search history after every show. Oh, yeah, it's crazy out here. Shout out to Matthew Richardson, who says Juice didn't do it. Sonny D did it. Jason Simpson. Think of the TJ Jizzle for being a member and saying he might get off Google Translation. Matthew says, oh, that's funny. Yeah, it gave him the wrong. Hey, I didn't really mean to say give me the money. Matt said kid on the left did it. F Ranger Xbox says Sunday hosting is correct. Climate change causes earthquakes across North American continent. Interesting. Audrey Martinez says, way off topic, who wins in a dance-off, young Usher or young Chris Brown? Chris Brown all the way. Not being a Virginia bias necessarily, but a little bit of that. But Chris Brown can hit a backflip right now. When he was like 16, being in Virginia, we hear stories about Chris Brown. He would hit a front tuck on his flat feet. He would jump up and do a front tuck and land on his feet like a cat. Chris Brown was Michael Jackson before Rihanna. Another guy that had all the accolades until one incident happened. Until Rihanna happened, he was becoming Michael Jackson. Usher was a good singer, had good songs with Jermaine Dupri, the whole Atlanta wave, but he was nowhere near Chris Brown when it came to dancing. Usher can dance, don't get it twisted, but Chris is different. Chris is different, man. Chris is like an athlete. Like it ain't the same. Anyway, thank you to Zenesis Kings for gifting out 5 ABL memberships, and thank you to Slenderella Charming for your dancing emoji and your donation. I most certainly appreciate y'all. All righty, we get to some calls here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also an email for Skype in the description. You could call in that way. And if it doesn't work right, don't blame me. Blame the white man because it ain't my fault. But yeah, no, Chris Brown, like Usher could never. Chris Brown is something else. A front tuck off his front feet or a backflip, like from the ground, not even running into it, from the ground, jump up, do a backflip, laying right on his feet, in a party, in a small space. He could be right in front of a bar, hit a backflip, and not knock any drinks down. Like a different type of talent. If not for the Rihanna thing, he would be Michael Jackson. All right. Aside from all the Wacko Jacko stuff, but that's a different story. 859, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I'm stuck. I don't know the warehouse, so I do apologize. for the echo stuff.
All right, you should be good.
All right. Hey, I oddly enough, when you mentioned about the OJ Simpson and some of the people becoming transgender all of a sudden because it's, Los Angeles, oddly enough, and it just spoke. It just sprung into my mind. It's like, wait a minute, New Jack has said some like controversial stuff, saying, hey OJ, shout out to my homie, 2 down, a lot more to go, and he would make that statement to make everybody mad. And this is during Smoky Mountain Championship Wrestling. This is during like the Deep South.
Oh wow!
So people were giving him crap. Yeah. And he was like, it was Jim Cornette purposely told him, be as racist as you can. And that was his gimmick. He was a black supremacist who would just make everybody mad. And during Smoky Mountain Championship Wrestling, and when he got to ECW, it was blood. And New Jack's so crazy that he almost literally killed somebody from an incident from a long time ago because he was still mad about it and threw him off a scaffolding, almost killing the guy. I would never mess with New Jack in real life. Crazy. And R.I.P., he's a crazy guy. He snorted a lot of cocaine. He had interviews that he talked about snorting cocaine off of dropping high, like off of scaffolding. And it's like fearless. And it was kind of ironic that I think it was one of his sons came out as trans, and New Jack, as homophobic as he is, was mad about it. And I think that was a weird, interesting incident, since you were mentioning about Caitlyn Jenner and since you were mentioning about the helicopter pilots becoming trans. I think this whole storyline, literally everybody's becoming trans.
Pretty much,
it's like a bad comedy.
Anybody attached to it that became transgender or something crazy.
It's a nuts story. It's weirder and weirder every like everywhere you go. It gets weirder and weirder. It just sounds like science fiction. It sounds like a book almost, but it's real. And by the way, from these media saying that this person's like a inside an inside plant and all this other stuff. I mean, first off, I'll give you a bit of example. Okay, I'm a fan of Robert Smith from The Cure. I have a tattoo says Robert Smith is my soul because he writes like love songs, dark songs, and heartbreak songs. Love the guy. If I'm a part of his fan club, if I buy his T-shirts, if I buy his albums, that makes me a fan, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So what's the difference between me liking Robert Smith and her liking Donald Trump?
I don't see it.
Exactly. I mean, the media, they come off of this stuff off top of their heads, and they sound like nut jobs. And it needs to say people will be like, Alex Jones is crazy. Sorry about the background noise. We're saying the water stream, the fog's gay and stuff like that. But yet they don't even listen to their own what they're saying and how crazy they sound, which is ironic and hypocrisy of it. But hey, I enjoy the phone call. Thank you for taking my phone call, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Oh, I do apologize.
That's all.
Hearing
It's all
the
good.
forklifts in the background.
Right on.
But hey, Luciferian Libertarian out, man. Much
Right
love,
now.
bro.
All right, shout out to man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Oh, and I missed Bob K MIT Super. He said she forgot to say Joe Biden gave us 1994 crime bill, which locked up who? Black men. Yeah, she was referring to that because she was saying that he left a lot of people look like her up, and that Trump had to come in and do the First Step Act to get these guys out. And then, yeah, I read. So thank you for both of those. But she did mention that, but she didn't say First Step Act. I mean, pardon me. She didn't say crime bill, but she was referring to it because she's talking about everybody that got locked up, and then Trump had to come in and get them out. All right. Tariq, what's going on?
Hey, man, Ben Shapiro, man. This grifter swears he thinks he knows what he's talking about when he comes to politics, man. Did you see his video he posted? I believe it was like on Thursday or Friday on X, pretty much attacking Marjorie Taylor Greene for going after Mike Johnson for the bill that Mike Johnson is going to put on the floor for the Ukraine and Israel aid.
Now, I did not see that. What was he talking about?
He was pretty much saying that What the Republicans need to do away with is having one Republican filibuster bill. So Ben Shapiro is upset that Marjorie Taylor Greene is stopping Ukraine aid. And saying the only reason why Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing this is because she is trying to be on TV. But yet, when you go on Marjorie Taylor Greene's page, she's saying that the American people don't want to support the Ukraine war. They got problems at home. They don't want to spend billions of dollars to Ukraine. I mean, this is really the only leverage Republicans really have over Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're trying to get a wall or anything done, you don't just give Joe Biden these foreign aid, pass these foreign aid packages while nothing gets done for the American people. That's silly. But you got this grifter, Ben Shapiro, acting like he doesn't know why. And then, and then he says stuff like, why do some Republicans want to see Russia roll over Ukraine and take it over? And it's like, Ben, it's like, it's almost as if Ben doesn't even know what's going on in that region, why they are fighting a war. It's just like he just like supports every foreign adventure. And to be honest, that grifter, in my opinion, is only supporting Donald Trump now because I believe Donald Trump is a little bit more pro-Israel than Joe Biden. I think that's it. And, the other reason why that he's mad about this foreign aid package is not passing is because it also includes aid to Israel. Like Ben Shapiro, in my opinion, is truly an example of an America last, foreign country, foreign intervention first. And like we can see, and I think Andrew Schultz said it best, and he's a Jewish guy, same religion like Ben Shapiro. He said it like, yeah, Ben Shapiro does not debate any intellectual politician. Like, he only debates college people. And to be honest, I think he's grifting off of MAGA conservatives by talking about the LGBT issues. But when he talks about other issues, he pushes dangerous issues that doesn't support the needs and wants of Americans, man. So yeah, I can't stand that guy, man. He's such a grifter, and I really hope that the right-wing conservatives who also consumes the Daily Wire really wakes up to this clown, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Ben Shapiro, like the only, like, he only goes in the direction that the right goes when it's safe. But no one really like Ben Shapiro is never right the first time. He gets beat down intellectually. He sees what we're doing, and then he switches sides, man. So yeah, I was just seeing if you saw that video. And the other thing, man, I wanted to criticize Mike Johnson in the Republican Party, man, because like I said, I'm with Marjorie Taylor Greene and ousting him because the problem is she is right. Like, Republicans keep saying they want a border wall, but you can't just keep criticizing Joe Biden. Like, you can't just keep talking down on him. You got to leverage your power. And the problem with Republicans, man, is like, man, they want to be interventionists. So Mike Johnson, in my opinion, I feel like he's still going to put this stupid foreign aid package bill up. No, and he's going to side with the Democrats over the Republicans. I saw this one Republican on CNN. Man, I forget his name. He's in the House, but he said, Mike Johnson needs to go ahead and put that foreign aid package bill because America has to be the leader of the free world. We can't let our allies fall. We can't let Russia take over Ukraine. Like, I hate when they talk like that, because when Republicans talk like that, they will never have leverage. All the Democrats have to do is throw some stupid foreign intervention package, and the Republicans will roll over every time. But what you never see the Democrats do, and this is where we got to give them credit, they will never compromise and roll over for Republicans ever. Not for no wall, not for no religious rights, not for nothing. They always stick still. But it's always our side who gives in to these stupid old school foreign interventionist policies, man, and it's so frustrating. And the reason I'm saying this, especially our audience, because man, we got to really pay attention to the Republicans who elect. I'm telling you, if Trump gets into office, and I'm telling you, if Trump says, "Hey, no more aid to Ukraine, we are going to mind our own business," his biggest enemies is going to be Fox News, the National Review, these far right warmongering Republicans. I'm telling you, they are going to turn on him. They are going to be his biggest critics. And that's what I'm saying. We got to start looking at the people who we put in the House and Senate. If they're not talking like Trump, we need to get them out, man. You're not going to be pro-Trump on the border, but then when he goes to foreign policy or anything that affects our economy and the negative way that Republicans support, we're going to ride with you. So yeah, man, that's all I got to say, man. Wake up to that grifter Ben Shapiro. America first over Israel, Ukraine, or any of these other foreign nations. And that's all I got to say, bro.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, take care.
Great call. Shout out to my man Sarik for that. Absolutely. Let's keep on rocking here. 786 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Mr. Anthony Brian Logan, how are you, sir?
I'm well. How about yourself?
Oh, no, not too bad. Just thinking about just a few. I know you brought up some subjects about some migrants, people come in the country who either didn't like the food they were served or a few other things. Well, yes. I don't know if you heard about what happened a few days ago in Dearborn, Michigan.
No, what happened?
No, there was it was a Ramadan rally in Dearborn, Michigan. I don't know what the citizenship status of these chanters were. They started yelling "Death to America." I think it might have been Rashida Tlaib's district. Was it the MEMRI has a video of it, but they were yelling "Death to America" in Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah, I think I heard about that, but I've not seen it. I got to check it out. But that's pretty crazy that they would do something like that.
Yeah, because I was just thinking about that, and also too, I like to compare the two chicken stories. As it's Trump with that Chick-fil-A in Atlanta, and Joe Biden's Super Bowl chicken ad. Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Sitting down with that family and saying, "So you like basketball?" And I'm like, this is terrible. I mean, if anything, if there was a staged ad, it was that one with Biden. I mean, come on. And it's just disgusting. It's like, it's almost like he's saying a message. It's like, hey, black people, live up to the stereotypes, we have for you. While Trump is saying, be authentic, be who you are.
That's right.
And that's what really upsets me. I got upset at I'm a white man. I mean, they may be my color, but they're not my kind. At the white man who was stopping you from getting on the air on time tonight. I mean, yeah, I know. I mean, personally, I wish they would take those guys along with those who insist that, black people live up to the stereotypes and those Death to America chanters and put them on that pirated boat captained by that Ecuador guy in New York City and sail off into the sunset. Hasta la vista, baby.
Right on. Absolutely.
Yeah. And kudos to the dad who took his, kids to the, back to the store to make them return the stolen merchandise.
Absolutely.
Those kids should be glad they didn't have a dad like mine. My dad would have employed the Behavior Enforcement Learning Tool, if you know what that is.
BELT. I got you.
Yeah. Right. This is a great show as always, and they got 10 million and one callers. So have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great calls. Keep on rocking and rolling. The number to call, 434-658-1220. 860, you're on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony Brian Logan. It's Anthony Ranger Xbox. How you doing, my brother from another mother?
It's all good. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good. I saw you chuckle when you read my super chat.
Yeah, definitely. That got a little laugh out of me, for sure.
Okay, now I have to prove it now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever heard the term continental rebound?
No, I haven't.
No, of course you hadn't, because they scrubbed it off the internet. What continental rebound Okay, I'm going to state a fact, and you can say whether you believe it's true or not. The Earth is a molten ball of metal, rock, and minerals with a outer crust floating in space. True or false? A sphere.
A sphere, yes.
Of molten metal. Okay, so molten metal is molten. It's a liquid, correct?
Yes.
So it's kind of gushy. You can kind of squeeze it.
Yeah.
So here in Connecticut, where I'm trapped at, the hell that I have to endure. But 20,000 years ago, at the end of the last ice age, there was 3 miles of ice where I'm sitting at right now, pushing down on the Earth's crust. And it's like taking a basketball or a dodgeball and pushing in on it with your hand. Do you see what I'm getting at? 3 miles of ice 20,000 years ago, pushing down on the molten Earth, where it's pushing down the surface. So as the ice melted, follow me, that weight was lifted off the North American continent. So if you took your fingers and you put them out in front of your body, touched your fingertips together and point them down, and your elbows are up high, that's what the continent looked like at the end of the Ice Age. Rock doesn't like to bend. So over time, you get earthquakes on the East Coast, where here in Connecticut, you hear the sounds of Moodus. That's a fault line that's constantly making noise. Then in St. Louis, you have earthquakes. And then in California, you have earthquakes. And we know that the continent is relaxing back to its normal shape through the centrifugal force of the Earth, rotating at like 123.897 miles per hour. The fact that it's molten, the fact that, everything wants to go back to its natural form. Sonny Holston is correct. Climate change does cause earthquakes, and that's how it happens. It's the continent wanting to go back to its natural shape. So as the center comes up, the ends of the continent are actually going down. Doesn't mean the oceans are rising, because they've actually dropped, because Arctic and Antarctic ice are at record highs for the past 3 years. So there you go. How'd I do? Did I explain it?
You explained it. You did, for sure.
Okay, you're welcome. And now, the one time I complimented you on being very stoic, when people make outrageous claims like I do all the time. And the one time I got you to react was when I said, the Uniparty in Washington, D.C. is exterminating black people. Now do you see it? Because they want to eliminate policing. During policing, average year, with police, actively policing the communities, 7,000 black men are murdered by 7,000 black men, destroying the lives of 14,000 black men every single year. Right or wrong?
I believe you're correct.
That's with policing. Take the police away, what's going to happen?
It's going to be
black people are going to be exterminated by their own hand. Do you see it?
I see what you're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. The Klan has won when they can get their enemy to kill themselves, and they don't have to accept any blame. They can sit back and say, "Oh man, we tried to help them. We just put out all these programs and had all these social workers. We gave them everything except for a job and a purpose in life." And Anthony, my brother, I will close with that. I love you. I love my country. And people, let's get our country back, please. Thank you, sir. You're running some rocking shows these days. God bless you. Take care, America.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. All right, man. Shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to you guys for being here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 504 in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All right, man. What's going on?
All right. So yesterday I did a live and it went very well. And there are some interesting topics we covered. And so basically in the world right now, it's very hostile. And all over the world, I don't know about every single country, but most countries are having these little micro wars with each other right now. Like like China and India are having conflict again over their border, and China's having a dispute with Russia over some territory they think is theirs, and it's going all over the place, and the world is getting more hostile. And like when I was seeing another thing besides that, if Trump gets reelected, he has to deal with a world that's much more hostile than the one that he came into when he was elected the first time.
That's correct.
Yeah. And also, yeah, there's a situation. I was reading something that apparently Russia was talking about, like Alaska being part of their country. And yeah, hopefully they don't try to take that back.
Yeah, hopefully not. That's not going to be really advantageous right now. We need that piece of property.
Yeah. And also, it wouldn't be good for them, and it's good for our country to show strength. And I think also it's good for our country to show strength, and I don't think it has. And that I was seeing that Biden, he thinks that Trump may have a likely chance of winning, and he's not doing certain things in foreign policy because they're not too certain if he will even be reelected, which I see why he would have doubts about that. It would have been nice if he could have done good for the country and done the right thing, but it went the way it went. And yeah, there's also speculation about like what they both would do in the Ukraine situation. And I was seeing that they both would probably want to pull out of Ukraine because it's a kind of a failed cause. But Biden's not saying that right now. Or they could do something where they would try to defend Ukraine, but have Ukraine do something for us because we constantly keep on giving them more and more stuff without getting anything back in return. So I was seeing a video about possible scenarios that could play out as time goes on.
Yeah, I think all they're going to do is keep on taking because they can't really do anything for us because they're dependent upon us for everything that they have. So if they're dependent on us, how can they give anything in return?
Right. And also, because also in NATO in general, it's all in life support, but with the United States. And there's some theories that Trump would try to pull us out of NATO, and then those countries would, be the ones that are doing stuff. And Trump does not like slackers. And a lot of these countries let the United States handle everything while they just sit there and just lay back and do nothing. And I think it's good for Trump to pressure the other countries to do things to protect themselves or do their part, and it's not just, they're not being freeloaders.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah. And I think it's good that there's a movement for Black people that like Trump, because when I was around 2016 and but it was a little bit before I met you and the channel, I was with my Black friends, I was encouraging them to like Trump, and I would show them things and why Trump would be good for the country. And then they start to understand that, why he would be good and he's not against the Black people, because the media really, really did everything they could to damage his image. But it's good that I was able to help those people see. And then when I see you and other ones on YouTube, I was like, wow, there's a movement of Black people that support Trump. And I thought, I wasn't like the only one trying to do that.
Right, exactly. It's definitely a good thing because, a lot of us kind of felt like you were alone. It's not, people don't understand what you're going through. So once you could bring everybody to the front and it's like a movement, it's a good thing to keep going, keep the momentum going.
Yeah. Another thing is that the people you're showing today was wild. I like how you were roasting those nutty people. You did a very good job with that. I remember the lady, she looks like she has a dead cheetah on her head. It's a wig.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other one, has a wig on. It looks like she has a wig on, and that mayor. And man, they're just real tacky people. It just, they don't have any kind of equity to them. And they're causing the people so many problems, and it really shows the fall of the United States.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's good that people in a way are getting fed up with it and seeing how our side is, for Dooch has the best intentions for the country and is actually implementing it correctly. Because like Bernie Sanders will talk about the socialism, but he's referring to Scandinavian countries, and I did some research. In the Scandinavian countries, when they were capitalistic more, that's where their economy did really well. And then when they implemented socialism, a lot of the entrepreneurs left that place when the taxes got really high, and the socialists likes to tax the poor people because they're not going to be able to leave the area for a better tax situation.
Right, exactly.
And also, I think it's good for people to keep being informed about stuff. And yeah, the situation with Israel and Iran, it's getting very heated over there with the drone strikes and stuff. And that's another situation about the world that's going downhill. And it'll be good for Trump to, restore the world peace.
Yeah, we definitely need that because things are kind of getting weird. So we need to get back to peace.
Right. Did you hear about the PM of Japan going and addressing Congress?
I saw some of that, but I didn't hear too much about it.
Okay. Yeah, he was just talking about how America has a lot on its shoulders to patrol and protect the world, and that Japan is an ally of ours and will help us in the situations we need help in. And they're doing drills and stuff together. I'm calling it drills. And they are concerned about China's expansion to the Philippines and Japan, and how China's going to try to grab all the Asian countries. Another thing is that they want America to continue the efforts in Ukraine. Now Japan has their own beef with Russia before it became a communist country under Tsar Nicholas II. They were having wars with Russia already. So yeah, that's something that they don't like Russia in their history. But yeah, just basically about the friendship that we have. And since World War II, it's good we have an alliance with them. And I do agree about it's good we have alliances with Japan now, and it's not like how it was before.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
Shout out, man, for the call. Most certainly appreciate it. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's go to 678. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, sir. This is TJ Jizzle. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, sir. I'm going to try to make this really fast. The young man, your previous caller, is touched on something that I think is very important, and that's what's going on over in Israel. But the issue that he didn't bring up, yes, it's getting heated, but what he didn't bring up is that at 9:30 this evening, they sent a press memo from the White House saying that the president and the Secretary of Defense has reconvened their meeting from earlier today to continue discussing what to do. Now, who in their right mind believes that Biden got out of bed at 9:30 at night to hold a meeting? I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it. It's like the same gaslighting. I'm so over it that is happening over at CNN. It's so funny how I don't even know what her name is, but we all know who I'm talking about. The chick that I'm gonna say it, who was wearing she looked like a cheap hooker from the 1970s with that leopard print and the half twisted blonde wig. That's really what she looked like to me, but I digress. She is gaslighting, and I'm over it. I cannot believe, Mr. Logan, that legitimately any individual who's a news reporter, she has more knowledge than, let's say, here in Georgia. Okay, if you're from a small town, you don't get out much. Your trip to Atlanta or to Buckhead, your trip to Atlanta is like a big deal. You go out to Walmart and buy new clothes for that. And I'm not saying anything, but I mean that it's a big deal. Oh, we're going to Atlanta. You might even get a car rental because it's a big deal. So if you're from a small town in Georgia, your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, and further, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody votes Democrat. You don't know how to get out of that mindset. And I get it if you're still buying this garbage that they're spewing, but a news reporter, to be as visceral and evil and twisted as they are on CNN is pure gaslighting. And I'm done with it. I'm done, because that's all they're doing. They're getting paid. They're going to say whatever they have to say to keep the advertising dollars coming in and have at it. You know, that's how I feel about it, ABL. I don't have any time for it. I'm done. I'm over it. Yeah. So that's just how I feel about the whole thing. And then I've been kind of working a lot, but can you share what are your thoughts on that trial starting tomorrow and the judge, what the judge's daughter, what her background is? And this is way worse than the Fannie Willis case here in Fulton County. But what are your thoughts on that?
What trial?
Trump's hush money trial starts tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's all part of the same thing, really. It's just a way to try and get Trump away from the campaign trail, time up in court action, because it's all nonsense. It's all BS. Like, it's really not a thing that should even go to a trial. But here we are. Really, it's all frivolous. The thing in Georgia shouldn't be happening. The hush money thing shouldn't be happening. And the timing is so convenient because these things have been known or alleged for years and years and years. But now all of a sudden it's happening right before the 2024 election. I think it's pretty obvious what's going on.
Right. I guess my concern is that I get what the end game is. What my concern is the judge's unwillingness to recuse himself and the sheer. I guess I'm having a difficult time fathoming how the U.S. attorney is not getting involved with what, the campaign fundraising that his daughter did and her background. And how is that not a conflict of interest? And to have the only witness in the case be a disbarred lawyer, anybody worth their weight in salt knows that to be disbarred as an attorney is extremely difficult. You have to have gone to trial, presented the trial. On top of that, you witnessed the crime that you defended, hid the weapon, and presented all that in front of a judge. And even then, you might only, don't do that. You might be admonished and get a fine. But to be disbarred, that's tough. So the only witness in the case is a disbarred attorney. And the same judge heard the Stormy Daniels case. How?
Right. It's crazy. It's definitely a lot of conflict going on there.
Yeah. All right. Well, sir, the offer still stands. If you have to park in A, let us know so we can valet for you, and we will. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for your call, and thank you for your offer. I appreciate you.
All righty, sir. Have a good night.
Same to you. All right. Shout out to TJ Jizzle for the call. Most certainly appreciate her. And shout out to you guys in here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All righty, Matt, what's going on?
Hey, Anthony, what's good?
Everything's good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. The one thing about this whole Stormy Daniels thing that kind of makes me happy is that Trump's not a pedophile. Because, Stormy's, the furthest thing from a child I've ever seen in my life.
That's right.
So, we could always look on the brighter side.
That's correct.
I didn't read. I wasn't on when you probably read the super chats, but Sonny D murdered Nicole, not OJ. I feel pretty confident about that.
Sonny D, I don't understand.
His son murdered OJ.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing for years. That his son did it, and OJ covered for him.
Yeah, for over a decade. Why would you hire a lawyer for your son before you hire one for yourself? The son who's never even been questioned by the LAPD.
Right.
But all this, OJ Simpson, all this kind of ties into like what we're seeing. You know, you gave a pretty good rundown of like Rodney King and stuff like that. But all this is all tied together. You know, George Floyd, it's all helter-skelter. That's what they're trying to do. They want helter-skelter. They want people to basically have like a race war. And one of the number one, I don't think Trump's going to win the election. I think they're going to cheat. But number two, even if he wins, it won't be a peaceful transition of power. I think the helter-skelter is going to kick off because all these illegals, I mean, I think anywhere from 1 in 12 to 1 in 15 people in the United States is here illegally now. And I think all these illegals are going to be like, I'm not going to get deported. And they're going to be incredibly desperate. And between that 3-month period from when Trump would win the election to when he could take office and actually do something, there's going to be hell to pay. Something's going to happen. And I don't think that Trump has no powder to touch off. I think he's got some October surprises planned. Number one, probably, I think a plan to pardon Edward Snowden is probably in the mix. I mean, people won't vote on that because a lot of Republicans still think Edward Snowden is a traitor. Same with Julian Assange. But let's say something like some sort of credible intelligence, like, you know, who really killed Seth Rich is out there and comes to light. I think there's a lot of opportunities for there to be some sort of major blowback against the intelligence agencies because they're already extremely unpopular. And we've got the Congress. Edward Snowden the other day was saying that Speaker Johnson exhibits all the characteristics of something called congressional capture. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I haven't. What is that?
Basically, someone's got something on him, and he's playing ball. He's doing exactly what they want to happen. You know what I mean? And he is a deep stater, and so he. You know, for example, he hasn't released the January 6 tapes, right? He hasn't pushed back against the FISA renewal. He's all for sending money to Ukraine. All these things that he's sort of, have promised that he wouldn't do or would do to the Freedom Caucus. He's betrayed almost every single thing. So, and even to the extent of breaking a tying vote. So, what's your thoughts on any of that? And then I got one last point.
It's a lot to process. I really don't have a lot of thoughts at the moment. I just think that I'm not really surprised with what you're saying. It just kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's a color revolution. It's very KGB, and the idea that someone could get elected that could fix it at this point is it's naive. I mean, all the wars, everything from Charlie Manson, Helter Skelter, all the way up to the fact that we're probably going to be attacked by someone in Ukraine in the same way the Russians were at that shopping mall.
You think that we're going to get attacked over here in the States by a Ukrainian?
Ukraine is going to sponsor some terrorism over here. I feel pretty sure about that. Okay. And I'm someone that I used to have a top secret clearance. I'm a military veteran. I try not to say things that are too radical. But yeah, I do. I think situations like that, and the fact that Trump is probably the most likely person to ever die in a plane crash right now, I think I think something like that's going to happen. Absolutely. We are at war, and we're at war with ourselves. It's enemies that are domestic more than foreign, by and large. So, and my last point to make, in terms of like my absolute support of legalizing and legitimizing all drugs of any kind. A lot of the anti-drug arguments ironically match a lot of the anti-gun arguments. I could defend them exactly the same way. The drugs don't shoot themselves. And when people will distinguish between alcohol and marijuana and being different than fentanyl, I think that you could make the same distinguishment between my AR-15s and a smooth barrel musket. One's very different than the other, and I just think that we could do that thought experiment of let's delegitimize guns, which they're illegal in Chicago, but they're handguns, for example, but it's illegitimate. So now just the criminals are doing it. And if you would make guns fully illegal, you're just going to drive it underground, and you're going to create a black market where there's even more gun violence. In the same way, there's even more drug deaths. That's all I got for you. And I don't mean to be too libertarian on your show, but
thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you take it easy, man.
All right, shout out to Matt for the call. But yeah, drugs. If you want to see what happened with drugs being legalized, just go to the left coast where it's pretty much, you can pretty much smoke crack if you want to, and then see how San Francisco is, see how LA is. Just look at it. Seattle, Portland, just look at what's happening. And you can see an example right there. 773, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's retired Chicago police officer friend. I appreciate you taking my call, ABL. First of all, is that not the most hilarious thing that you've ever seen in your life, ABL, where they put Lori Lightfoot in charge of the Dalton mayor?
Hilarious.
I mean, it's like, it's hilarious. It's like an SNL skit or something out of Living Color. I mean, that's how funny it is. I mean, it's good to see that they have a sense of humor. And then my main thing is, ABL, the police in this country, all around the country, we're doing our job. We are arresting people. They're doing that in New York. They're arresting these people. But they've made it with the, no bond, release and all that. You don't have a bond. You're off the streets immediately. Sometimes you're on the streets before the policeman is done with your damn paperwork. I mean, it's ridiculous. Now is the time. Most people are practical. Now is the time to try to plead to get some of these Democrats who are on the fence over to our side. We do need them. It matters. We need to get that message out there. Trump and other people, other politicians need to get out there, Republicans, and say, look at the state of our country. I mean, the proof is right in your face. This is what these policies cause, regardless of what they want, how they want to spin it or anything else. This is what their policies cause. And we need to get that message out there to get people who are normally not on our side. This is why a lot of times, ABL, as confrontational as he can be, I don't mind Ivan on the show. I encourage Ivan on the show because I encourage, a dissenting voice. I want to hear where they're coming from. The fact that they can't, their argument doesn't hold water, that's a whole nother argument. I mean, and it doesn't. They can't argue their point because look at the state of our country. But, we need to plead to some of these people who are on the fence that our ideas and our way, of government is the way to go. And I know they don't like Trump. That's the whole thing. And they just can't stand Trump's personality. And as I say, you know, I like Trump's personality because it's feared around the world. I know it's feared here in our country too, but I believe Trump understands how to speak to these people's, you know, to their wallet almost. You know, if you do this, we're going to do that. And that's not in your best interest. These people do what's in their best interest. We're the only country that doesn't do stuff in our best interest. We need to close the border, all that. We all know that. And everybody in this room is on the same page as that for the most part. But, you know, we need to get people on our side. We can't afford to have another 4 years of these policies because they want to destroy America. And they are doing a good job at it. They really are. They've done the right thing. They have infiltrated our schools, which is now these students have come to fruition, and they're out here in our society, and their ideas are madness. They really are. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. I'll keep it short this week. ABL, thanks for taking my call, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thanks.
All right, great call. And that will be a wrap for me. Shout out to you guys. I'll be back again live on Wednesday, same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Thank you to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chat, and I could not do the show without you. Shout out to the mods keeping the trolls in check. I really appreciate y'all as well. I got a few more super chats. I'll read those right quick. Then I wrap it on up and put the bow clean on top. All right. I believe I got everything. Well, I got 2 more here. But shout out to you guys again. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Oh, of course, I got one more thing to say before I get to super chats. This is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right up. And if you're listening right now on the audio streaming platform, please give me a 5-star rating or review, whatever you can. I most certainly appreciate you. All righty. So thank you to Bobcat MIT. I read that one about the 94 crime bill. Thank you to TJ Jizzle, who says, keep holding it low. Next time you valet an ATL, holler. I need a new truck, and I park for free, sir. Oh, he said, you need a new truck. How you want to take mine? That's funny. Shout out to you. And shout out to Bobcat MIT, who says, this is for having the best mods, Bina and Zedochis. So shout out to you guys. You guys are the best. I'll be back live again on Wednesday, but I'm here pretty much every day putting out pre-recorded content. And y'all also please subscribe to the new channel, Uncle ABL. I'll be putting some interesting content over there as well. I was speaking about that situation with the viral videos of the daughter and the dad. Maybe I might cover that, but I'll talk about quite a few other things on the Uncle ABL channel. That'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.